bad. All right. Hello, hello. If there's anyone in here. Yeah, we'll give it a second before we get crazy. Before we get cray-cray. Let's get it started and we are live. Live. Numero doso. It's a classic winter for them. But does that mean they're gonna hold off on launching like EU and like AU servers and just be like, sorry guys, you gotta wait for summer. Yeah. Feels bad.jpg. Confirmation. Yeah. I mean, it is something that people need to know, like, because, yeah, I mean, I've probably got close to 50 characters on retail that I don't just want to, like, have to log in and delete. Like, that's lame. Like, why would you have to do that? But I figured it was going to function exactly like this, because a lot of people are concerned that it's going to be, you know, synonymous. Like, these are going to be two completely separate games. Like, you're not going to be able to just, like, click on the tab and be like, oh, I'm on a classic server, now I'm switching over to a retail server. They're going to be two completely different login screens, and I mean, I don't think they've confirmed that, but that's what the only thing that makes sense would be, in my opinion. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Hey, hell no. Yeah. I mean, I am happy to see, though, that they are sticking to the only one faction per realm on PvP realms. That's very weird, because you guys are coming through the same audio source. Maybe... Can't hear Pogren or... Okay, hold on. They can't hear both of y'all. Let me see this real quick. Desktop audio, for some reason, is not coming through. No, but should be good now. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Hello.
I think we're good. Let me know if y'all can hear them or if they need to be turned down or anything. I don't know why the settings just got, like, out of whack there. But...
Yeah, so going back to the Blue Post today, at least, I'll probably have a second account going, but I don't think that I'm ever going to end up... We're going to be on a PvP realm, at least if you're rolling with cargoes or stream and stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's how it was back in the day. I played on a PvE server, so I didn't realize that was a rule, but I wonder how big of a problem it'll be. Like, people will still be able to... Nobody will be able to cheat the system. Like, no, like, I don't know. I know that was a big deal on PvE servers. People looting with the other faction, like, somebody in the cities are getting a raid together, and then they just make a character on the other side and just ruin their plans. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing. But.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. Like, there's nothing bad about this. This is literally, like, I'm pretty sure this is exactly how it was during Classic, so, you know, the whole hashtag no changes team can be happy about it. Anybody who's unhappy about it is just a weird person. I mean, so...
I haven't seen any hate for it. I've just seen a lot of, you know, it's
like, meh, thank you.
Is the background audio better now?
It should be good.
Okay. I got legendary bronze in here again. Hey, little buddy.
Got you. You guys posted in the Discords that were live, right?
Yes, I did. And
Yeah,
also,
cool.
for those who are tuning into my Twitch, just so you guys know, I have some stuff added right now. So, for instance, if you do !Atticus,
Oh!
you'll get Atticus' YouTube link. And if you do !Grays for day, or Grays, you'll get Grays for days.
I should add that stuff to my YouTube.
Feels good, man.
Feels good, JPEG. So yeah, the other thing I was gonna say. Oh well, since we're on the topic of what characters we're gonna have, let's talk about the characters that we do plan on making. Because I've got plans, and they're not big.
Dude, I love this topic, and this never gets old. I was even talking to somebody earlier today, just what are you going to do whenever the game comes out? And my plans keep changing from week to week to week. I keep coming up with new scenarios, new things that I want to do. But yeah, I love this topic. I love this subject.
I'll kick things off. Go ahead. Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
So I plan on maining a druid on a PvP server. That'll be my main character, and then... and it's weird coming from a content creator's perspective, Atticus and Pogren and everybody else watching. I'm not particularly doing exactly what I want to do, and I know that sounds crazy. Not that it's not going to be fun, but like in my perfect world, I would do things a little bit differently. But because of some of the content that I want to make early on, I'm going to go druid, and then I'm going to somehow power level a mage. I'll probably mob tag with that druid on a second account.
Yeah.
Or just dual level, whatever it is. So I'm going to have druid and mage, and then with that mage, I'm going to do a lot of AoE farming and make some content, make some videos over that. So that's my early game progression, at least.
Well, that's
good. Yeah, I mean, we can start from early progression after you guys go. Maybe I can end it off with my end game progression.
What's up, Kyle? Hold on, let me check my mic thing. Does my mic sound weird? Because I know I just changed my settings, so I don't know.
You sound better than like last time where we had a little bit more of your background.
Okay, so I just changed it over to a different mic. I don't know which one it is now.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, and so Architecti says in vanilla you can only do 9 characters per server. So that's cool.
So we get one extra character per server, and if
That
it's if you're PvP.
Hey, thanks for that subscribe, brother.
That makes sense because there was only 9 classes.
Yeah.
One of each.
One of each.
I remember though back in the day, I remember people like just because, and this is something that I think a lot of people have actually overlooked and completely forgot about, was that people would make multiple of the same characters because like they just didn't want to pay respec cost. So they would have like a pally that was a healer and then a pally that was ret because they just like playing pally or something, and they would use like the ret pally for farming or whatever. But
Well, dude, yeah, respecing was a big deal in vanilla, and from my memory, I remember some of the big patch days, you'd get a fresh reset. You wouldn't have to pay to reset your talents. And in hindsight, now that I see it, it was probably an overhaul whenever they were changing the talent trees. That's probably where my memory's coming from. But I remember just being hyped about, dude, I don't have to pay 1 gold, 5 gold. I think I screwed myself. I did it 3 times early on, and I was like, what? 10 gold to respec? So I totally shot myself in the foot. But I totally believe that people made 2 characters just to avoid that cost. Because it's, what's it get up to? 5,000 gold? It's not. No way.
50,
No.
50.
I think it's 50 gold at most,
50?
or 100.
It caps at 50.
I knew there was a
50,
5.
okay.
Yeah.
50 feels like 5,000.
Well, because that was a topic that people didn't like about Nostalrius, or was it Elysium, whichever one did it, but they capped theirs at 25, which was half the cost of the original. And people were like, well, that's not Blizz-like, that's bullshit. And it's like, but like, you're already playing on a server where you know that character's going to disappear one day. You kind of need some more incentive to, like, you know, invest your time into it. That's way better than a cash shop that, like, all the other servers have. Or, like, on, there was a BC server that was out for a while that you could, they had dual spec on a BC server. You just had to log in onto their website and then switch your talents over and then log out of the game, log back in, and you would have like a different set of talents. So at least they weren't doing that for that vanilla server.
Right, yeah, that's broken.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about like, okay, so what Pogren, what are you gonna main? Let's start there.
So my main is obviously going to be a shaman. My alt will most likely be a warrior.
Okay.
And then I plan on having a second alt for a druid.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be going orc Tauren.
Faux show. And Grays, you said you're gonna go Druid main, and then what's your alt gonna be your first alt?
Yeah, so I'm going Druid main, then I'm going Mage.
What's up,
Really,
Cargos?
for the AoE farming, the AoE content, I'm all
Welcome,
in
Cargos.
numbers. That's about all I'm gonna say up to that point. You know, keep some of the video topics that I'm gonna cover a secret. But
Yeah,
then
please.
I'm gonna do a Shaman just because they're so unique and I can make pretty good content with them. Earthbind Totem, we're gonna make some
Yeah.
solo highlight videos, things like that. But yeah, in the fact that I'll have Druid Shaman, get a lot of content on them. Those are two of the least played classes in vanilla, at least. So yeah, that's kind of like I said, and this is centered around me being a content creator. And I know that sounds like a sellout, but like that's my reality.
No, I think that's fine. If you're gonna like play more so to gear towards entertainment, then that's fine. Like,
Right.
it's gonna be unique. Like my content is literally gonna go from like all the guides I've been making to like I'll do updated guides based on, you know, the intricate things that change and whatnot. But other than that, I'm literally just gonna make like PvP videos and like random PvP guides. That's it.
Like most of my stuff's going to end up going towards lore anyways, and then also I want to do obviously more of my quizzes and stuff like that. So my content really won't change that much, so I don't got to worry about it as much.
Yeah, I mean that's good for you.
Yeah, and it's weird, dude. I'm not into min-maxing everything, and this is a weird point for me to talk on, but I never rated in vanilla. I'm not super excited about rating in vanilla, dude. I'm genuinely not excited about rating in vanilla. I don't care about speed running raids in vanilla. Like, I mean, I don't know. I might raid 2-3 nights a week max, but I don't know. There's something about the 40-man group that just doesn't get me excited.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to sit in a raid group for 4 hours. Granted, I'm not gonna bash it. I'm just saying I don't know why it doesn't pique my interest. Maybe because I've never done it, but I think whenever I get to it, it's not gonna be that exciting. And then again, bring it back to where I'm coming from a content creator's perspective. Who wants to create content on rating like 99% of the other content creators are gonna be doing? So
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel you. And yeah, I mean, that's where mine might start to get boring or whatever. Like, I'm predominantly going to be streaming, so it's going to be more of like you're seeing my day-to-day struggles as a warrior. But like, yeah, like most of my content's going to be streams, but then I'm going to rip, you know, stuff off of my streams to make like different PvP videos and like montages and stuff like that. But yeah, like that's actually one of the biggest things that like bothers me is that like I'm gonna have to run something else to record just the screen and have not record like any of the webcam overlay stuff or anything, because I don't want to like play without a webcam, but I don't want to have montages with my webcam in it because that just looks awkward and weird. But
Right,
yeah.
right. Oh, that's a pain, dude. Do you have your hardware ready? Have you upgraded yet?
Oh no, my computer's good enough to handle it all. It's just annoying.
Gotcha.
Whereas I need to upgrade
I need to
mine.
do an overhaul. Yeah, same, Pogren. I'm running off this Alienware laptop I bought in high school 5
Oof.
years ago now.
Okay, that's a little rough. At least mine's only a year old and it's an MSI, so
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's I think on my Twitch all my specs are listed. It's not like the craziest thing in the world, but I still dropped like almost $2,000 on it and built it myself. So
I think we spent about $1,000 on mine. So
Yeah.
I had an Intel
Yeah,
7.
dude, I'm an idiot. I spent $2,000 on this laptop, but it's a beast, man. And ideally, I'd hold on to this laptop. I'd make a new rig, probably for another $2,000, dude. And if I could get quad monitors on the new rig, and
that'd
then I
be
got
nice.
my laptop and an external monitor, I'd have
Yeah.
6 screens, dude, and 2 computers. I could do some crazy things with that. Oh, I got some crazy ideas. I'm gonna do like a time lapse. I want to do a time lapse on launch, and just live stream that or something
yeah.
on a second account. Do crazy things like that. So yeah, are you guys gonna have 2 accounts? Are you gonna utilize 2 accounts to your benefit in any way?
I would
Negative. Nah.
No, not
I'm not-
interested.
I don't plan on doing it. Yeah, no.
It's not that it doesn't interest me. And what's up, Outbreak? How you doing, man? It's not that it doesn't interest me. Like, I see the benefits of it, and yeah, I need 4 monitors, Cargos. Like, I've got 2 right now, and it's a struggle streaming like this. But I'm probably gonna grab at least 1 more and have 3. But the thing that bothers me about 2 accounts is like there's a lot of like vibe issues for me with like the way things like feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have like 2 accounts, it doesn't feel like I am the warrior. You know, that's why like my main is going to be a warrior, and like maybe I'll get a shaman to 60. But like
That's fair.
But like also the only other things I really feel like that I'm gonna make as far as other classes go would be like some kind of twink, whether it's a 19 warrior twink or a 19 rogue twink. I'm not sure yet, but
Well, dude, and you say that, it reminds me, that's another benefit of having the second account. I'm going to have my twink, my 19 twink character, sitting in the city, logged on whenever we get the Onyxia buff or whatever. Get the world buff on there and then make some crazy content. So that's another benefit to having my characters mapped out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a whole game plan. I don't have everything written out yet, but it's going to be serious whenever the game drops, dude. I'm going to have 2 or 3 things I'm going to be doing every single day, goals that I'm going to be trying to reach in terms of personal achievement and then just content creation.
yeah.
It's gonna be insane. But dude, yeah, on the monitor thing, Cargos was saying he's never going back. Whenever I go to class, dude, with my laptop, and I've just got a single screen and I try and do stuff and I'm trying to move from one thing to another, it drives me nuts, dude. Ever since I went dual monitor, it makes me going crazy with just my laptop. But dude, once I get 4 monitors going, yeah, I can understand.
I got these nice as wall brackets. I'm thinking about getting 2 monitors here and then having 2 more here, off to my left. Yes. Am I right? So amazing.
Yeah, I have the little brackets behind my desk that actually was because I got the idea because I was watching a video Frostadamus put out about his like he was like upgrading his whole like
His rig and everything.
yeah and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about like the monitor stands that attach to the back of your desk. And then my monitor's actually so old that I had to actually go out in my garage and take a screwdriver and drill holes into the back of the plastic and like hope that I didn't screw into the like components or anything, which it worked out. So woohoo.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the last place I worked this summer, dude, they had quad monitors for all their employees, and I had a little desk set up. I didn't ever use it. I worked in IT, but yeah, dude, I had quad monitors. It was legit. So that's the dream. That's what I'd be going for. And dude, some of the content I'm making. So I'm doing these dungeon guides that are extremely extensive, and I'm trying to do 2 and 3 man groups, and I'm gonna pull up each mob's armor values, their health, their abilities. You need more than 1 monitor if you're, it just would feel better. And yeah, I'm interested in this new play mode, this new game mode that I'm trying to make, and people that are going to participate, because I really do plan on this being a worldwide thing that everybody can participate in. You don't have to be on the same server. Huh?
Sorry, are you planning on hosting a website for it too, so that way you can keep track of it and everything like that?
Yeah, eventually.
Oh, that would be
like,
cool. Yeah.
Yes, if this thing gets that big, like within the first year, absolutely, I'm gonna pay somebody to figure out all the things, or we could do some type, whether it's some type of website. You know how they do mythic rating right now, and there's a ranking system. If we could somehow figure out how to do that with Vanilla WoW Dungeons, or more practically, it's probably gonna be like an add-on that would track all your statistics, things like that. But in the meantime, yeah. In the meantime, I imagine doing just video submissions, and then I'm gonna kind of create this highlight reel on my own.
If you were to do like you were saying something about 2 to 3 man dungeon grinding stuff, if you were to do it like that and even get up to like 4 people, then you could actually host it and follow them on like a max level character, because it's not about their XP. So you could just go in the dungeon with them and just follow them around, and then time it and then do it for like both groups or something, and that could be the way they could compete.
Like actually have a ref, you'd be the referee. If
Yeah.
you see something out of line, if you see an ability.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that a lot. The only thing is then it makes it server wide.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it works out. I'm gonna launch it obviously, but and it's hard for everybody to see my vision. So I'm gonna have to make a couple video montages of what I'm going for at least, and then just put out some highlight videos and pump up myself and just flex on everybody and make them want to do a faster time than me or something.
I just really hope that they don't end up doing some kind of competitive, like, Blizzard sanctioned PvE stuff. That would be so annoying to me. Like that.
What do you mean?
Like I hate. Like, I love it in like just the like people doing it. Like just the referee, like just another player just watching, just like, hey guys, this is something fun to do. But I hate that retail has turned into who can kill the freaking dungeon boss fastest, and let's have tournaments about it. Like, that doesn't prove much of anything. Like, it proves that you've learned a certain path to go down, and this is what my argument's always been of why I like PvP more than PvE, is because PvE, you know exactly what everything's going to do. You know roundabout how hard it's going to hit, roundabout what you're going to have to do. But with PvP, every single person is going to react to you differently. Yes, there are certain guidelines for every encounter you get in on like a 1-by-1 basis. But it's just, everything's different. Like, it's unpredictable because it's another person.
I got a counter argument.
Go
So
for it.
yes, the boss is going to be the same, but being able to throw challenges out for this. So instead of it just being a normal vanilla, like just bring the min-max up things you need to bring to actually down the boss quick, be like, hey, you're limited to having, like, let's say 2 shadow priests and a holy priest in your group, and then you have to build around that. You're not allowed to have a warrior tank, you have to have something else. Like, you give them restrictions and you have them play to certain strengths and weaknesses. I think that would be really fun.
Well, and that's the thing with this dungeon meta. I mean, I'm serious, dude. It's going to be a whole new play mode. It kind of brings back that newness, the freshness of the game, because the PvE content, Atticus, the first time we played through it, it was legit. But I mean, I understand over time, everybody figures out the best way to complete something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where, and I got to plan out how I want to launch this. I'm not going to do it obviously, right away, but like maybe 6 months, a year down the road, especially, after the first iteration of World of Warcraft. But I really plan on halfway through this first time, getting this thing going, because it's going to create new content. It's going to, and people, there's always the argument you're going to get bored with the game. People who've played vanilla, I think it's, I don't know, at least people who haven't played it extensively, they understand there's tons of content that you're going to be.
There's no way you can get bored with this game, because like even like the simple fact of like, all right, let me get every single class to 60, and then let me gear every single class. Okay, now let me gear, even if you just do viable specs, let me gear every class in their viable specs. That's a whole world in itself there. Then if you just want to do twinks, dude, 19, 29, 39, 49, like just doing those brackets, how many different specs are there? How many different, and like how long is it going to take you to get bored playing in that bracket at that one spec? And that's just the PvP side of things. Like, I mean, I just don't understand how people can get bored of this game. If you like MMOs, there's no possible way to get bored of this one.
And that's what blows my mind, and it really does surprise me how short vanilla truly was. It was 26 months, right? And
something
if you
like
were
that,
US, 26 months, less than 2 years if you were European. And it blows me away, because I know people have done a lot of things on private servers, but dude, how many people really got to experience vanilla WoW, and how much of the game did they get to flesh out and explore? Like, dude, this game honestly hasn't really ever been played. I mean, obviously everybody's been playing private servers and they've min-maxed everything, but like the values, the leveling experience.
Oh yeah, no, it's so different. Yeah, like, and just like this is what we're getting ready to talk about here in a second. I want to touch on what Cargo says about his PvP events in a second, but yeah, no, the 35% faster on private servers is freaking absurd. Like, that changes all the theory crafting that I've personally done myself about leveling. Like, I've gone through and leveled, and I have a notepad somewhere around here with like, okay, I got to this level at this time. This is what was different from Joanna's guide, and then this is how long it took me to get to this level, and this is a weapon I need to pick up. This is like, and I've made like all these notes just so I have something to like go off of whenever it starts going, and I have something I can kind of compare myself to. But now all of that is going to be 35% slower.
Okay, where'd this information come from?
I can't remember, but someone said it was. Someone said something about that. Do you remember, Pogren?
The 35%, I do believe, Cargos, if that was you, or it was Def Camp, on one of his normal streams, were the ones that actually brought that up specifically. I also have 2 people here that have been going off on Twitch real quick. Legendary Bronze, Insane. Legendary Bronze actually has a counterpoint. 26 months is an extremely long time. Running MC for 5 months gets old fast.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
it's true that running MC gets old, but at the same time, I don't know. I think enough people are going to enjoy playing the game. If the private server community was as big as it was at the peak before Nost was shut down the first time around, I don't think people will get too old. They'll get too bored of running MC over and over and over.
Yeah. And whenever I'm talking like this, dude, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm really not interested in raiding. And yes, if you're all into in-game and getting best in slot, and just clearing all the dungeons, yeah, there's only so much content you can do for 2 years, and a majority of the player base that just played for the in-game, yeah, they did get bored and they were ready for the Burning Crusade. And I've heard that from a lot of people. So it's a completely valid argument. And I'm coming from the sense of, I want to play through every zone on each faction, and even as different classes, and complete every single quest. Like, dude, you can't do that in 2 years. unless you're playing every single day. But there's just
there's replayability in the sense of like not even having to restart a server, but just going through and doing different things. Like you're not going to be able to do it all the way through the first time, like all of it.
Sure. But it only caters to very specific people. Like, you know, not everybody wants to be not everybody's a completionist, like I am. So
yeah,
I totally see where
I'm a completionist if it's like easily trackable. So that was like the one thing that I actually liked about achievements. Not that I'm saying achievements were good, but I just liked being able to see that like, oh, here's some quest, and like I've done all the ones you can do in this zone. But then I think it was like Warlords of Draenor when it stopped actually tracking all the achievements that or all the quests you actually did. Like it was like complete 135 quests, but then I still had quests left over I could do in the zone. So I was like, how did I complete all the quests in here when I still have quests to do?
Well, it wasn't about completing quests; it was just about completing a certain amount of quests in that zone. But no, because I remember the old Lore Master. I had them. I had them in Wrath of the Lich King. I miss being able to have that. But go ahead, Graze.
No. I remember that. I remember being frustrated that those achievements were like 75 quests completed, but there's like 90 quests in this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
But to go back to what Cargos was saying about the ref for the PvP events, that was one of the things that I think maybe someone touched on it when you were talking about it, Cargos. But that's something I definitely want to be in on if you're still in here, because like that's just I've always wanted to have little like PvP events like that in the Gurubashi arena, just like have, you know, a bunch of like spellcasters like sitting up on the top just like ready to like snipe people who jump in and try to interfere or something, and then like just have like, you know, tons of people outside the front gate with like flares constantly being thrown down on the door so no one can stealth in, have like 3 warriors and 3 shamans standing there just ready to tear any alliance apart that come to the door and just keeping the peace. But like just having a freaking like, you know, invite only place, or like if somebody were to like faction cross collusion and just message us in Discord, be like, hey, I've got a team that wants to compete, then we'd just be like, okay, you can come in, because you're still fighting each other, you're still participating in PvP, it's not like you're helping anyone do anything. So I mean, I just like that idea in general of just having events like that, and there's so many more that we could end up doing, and like one that just comes to mind immediately is like find, you know, the squad and kill them. Like you could just like tell everyone in the guild like, hey, you know, they're somewhere on Eastern Kingdoms. Go over there and find them. When you do find them, you have to defeat them.
That would be awesome, dude.
Dude, listen to this. And this comes from my main moderator in my Discord and a couple guys that are real close to me. They were fleshing out this idea. There's so much content that can be created from the community. Obviously, the PvP is going to be insane. But these guys, they were talking about how in the past, whether it was guild members of their own or they'd heard about it, I don't think they'd done it themselves, but they talked about how people role-played in certain cities. They were standing on the steps of the Bank of Stormwind or wherever, and you'd have to go find these guys, and whenever you came and like slash waved or you slash did something, they'd end up giving you a quest. And you'd have to go somewhere in the zone, in the world, go do this, bring them back a certain reagent, do something. But people were literally fabricating their own quests in the game, which is just insane, dude. You could do a whole 5-hour event. Who can get through the storyline the fastest? You can make a whole new puzzle. You got to figure out how to go from point A to point B. It's a 5-quest chain. Here we have the quest written out. Figure it out. Like, dude, that would be so sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot of that kind of content. And even if we don't see it in this first lifetime of Classic WoW, if it's in a 2.5 year, 3-year time span, dude, we could see that in the second, third, fourth iteration for years on end, dude. Like it's never gonna end. When is World of Warcraft? When is Vanilla WoW ever going to end? I mean, it's been alive for 15 years up to this point, arguably.
Yeah. Like, no, I agree. I just don't. And I think it was Cargos that was saying something about this, or someone in some video I was watching, but like, it was like people don't look at WoW as the way that other people, like the way that we see it, because think about it in terms of like a MOBA. A MOBA, every game you start over at level 1 and you level up throughout that 20-minute to hour span, and you get all this gear and you defeat the bosses and then the game's over. Now, just apply, like, you could say the exact same thing about Classic WoW, but just in a different time frame. Because we're taking the 2 years to, like, first we get to the max level, and then we do all these fights and everything, and we end up winning, and then we reset and do it again. So, like, essentially, you're just going through a 2-year campaign, which is, that's the way I look at it. Like, I have no problem ever restarting on a freaking, you know, whatever fresh server. Like, because if ideally I would like to have Blizzard release, you know, Burning Crusade and Wrath. If they did that, I would go straight through all 3 of those, and then once Wrath was over, I would start over at vanilla and play through it all again.
See, there's so much unknown, dude, and Cargos has pointed this out a lot, and a lot of other people have been thinking about this, but I've heard him preach on this fact, is that the items in the game, the way the game is going to be played this time is different than any other time in the past. Just because the items are always going to stick around. Dude, I'm going to collect pets in Classic WoW instead of putting them on the auction house like my instincts tell me, like, screw a vanity item, dude. I'd rather get 3,000 gold and go make a twink character, right? No, dude, but because Classic WoW is always going to be live, it's never going to go away. I would love to have the rarest pets on my main account. So, yeah, dude, I'm going to play differently because of this, the new way that it's going to be presented. Like, it's never going to end. But once it does end and just new iterations are made, like, does that crush my dreams? Does that ruin my experience? Not that it should be all about me, but, you know, should it be like Vanilla WoW always was? Arguably, I feel like Vanilla WoW wasn't long enough. And, you know, we can go back to that argument. But I don't know. I really thought that the game wasn't long enough. I don't know.
Cargos just said Stranglethorn Vale Battle Royale. Okay, so, like, when you said that, immediately my cogs started turning in my brain. And see, like, there's no way for us to actually, like, pick up gear and stuff. But what if, so, like, picture, like, 20 people, like a 20-person, like, battle royale. Maybe not on such a grand scale as, like, the entire zone of Stranglethorn Vale, but certain areas. And then there's different people, and then when you get to those certain people, like other players, you find them, and then they say, okay, you can equip this piece of gear. And so you start off naked, and you go find those people, and they're like, okay, you're allowed to equip your weapon now. And then you, like, run around, and you can, like, fight each other and everything.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
And then, so it'd be like a battle royale, and then you, like...
This is, like, where... Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. You'd have to, like, duel each other or something, but still, like, that would just be freaking sweet, in my opinion. That would be, like, World of Warcraft Battle Royale. I mean, Battle Royales are, like, usually terrible, but that one sounds kind of fun.
That's where Classic WoW Live's forums come in. That's where we can actually set up this shit.
Because that would be, like, a huge scale kind of thing to do, because you'd have to have, like, X amount of, like, quest givers or gear givers or whatever you want to call them, and then you'd have to have, like, 20 players or even, like, 40 players. Like, that would just be epic. I would love to see that.
I'd almost like to see something like where we have, you start out naked in the world, and you have to make it like you basically have everyone start at Orgrimmar, and you have to run all the way to, like, Thunderbluff, for instance. When you get to Thunderbluff, there's one person there or a couple people there that you can meet up with to get gear from. So, like, we're holding a bunch of BOEs, right? You trade them to the trade them the BOE so they can come up and get something random like a helm or a boot, and then they have to try to, like, kill each other. They have, like, they have so long to fight outside Thunderbluff, and then they have to run off to the next city. So it's like I don't know, an endurance kind of, like, last man standing. Whoever reaches Nax and actually gets the last, like, you know, you literally take them across the world. They have to navigate it. They have to survive getting ganked by other players. They have to survive, like, going through elite zones and shit like that. It would be amazing.
Snap, dude! You could give some minor speed increase boots to certain people.
Yeah, you could. Like, we would randomly have items that were just already enchanted, ready to be equipped, and we just hand them off to players as they come up. We trade them. We have to set up, like, you get there, everyone gets there, you have 5 minutes to meet all the vendors, if you will. We're just a bunch of players there. You hand out the gear, and then whatever gear you get is what you get. So you could be like a warrior with, like, a cloth helm and a skirt and a dagger, and that's all you got to defend yourself for the next 5 minutes as battling begins.
Dude, speaking of shit like that, man, I'm about to try that game Mordhau. Oof, that game looks good as fuck.
I haven't seen it, dude.
Just like big team battle, medieval style, like third person or first person fighting. And yeah, that was what made me think about it, because, like, there's dudes who just run around with, like, a fucking cloth skirt and a two-handed sword. But yeah, let's go back to, like, okay, so this is where I was gonna, like, where I was actually excited to have you on here, Graves, because we were talking about our like plans for leveling and whatnot, and now the 35% speed increase thing. So like, or speed decrease or whatever, if that's true, which I think it is, it makes sense. Like my whole route now is going to have to include dungeons. It's not going to be beneficial to just do questing, in my opinion. Questing and grinding, I feel like, is going to take way too long. So now we should talk about what our ideal dungeon compositions are. Do we do the 3-mans? Do we do the 4-mans? Do we do 5-mans?
Right.
And then if we do, like, respectively, what's the ideal thing? Because, like, for me, I'm always going to be a warrior. I have no problem tanking. But I do prefer DPSing, but I know it's just not logical at low levels. But I will always, always, always want, if I'm Horde, a Shaman following me. If I'm Alliance, a Paladin following me for heals.
Right.
And then I don't actually like mages. Like, everyone loves mages, but this is something... This is... Yeah, but... Their CC, like, you got, like, yeah, they bring you water, they have, like, good melee crowd control with all their freezes and slows and whatnot, but their main form of CC screws everything up, because it heals the target back to full health. So, like, but with a Warlock, if you got a Warlock and he fears, that thing is essentially the same, is CC'd essentially the same way. You have to plan for it a little bit better with, you know...
Until he pulls the entire...
Yeah, you have to, like... It's got a little bit of a higher skill cap, because you've got to, like, pull away from everything. But then like, you could fear something that's at 20% health, and it's fine. But if you have to sheep something that's at 20% health, then you're screwed.
Yeah, no, and you want to min-max everything, and I'm down. That's...
Yeah.
The thing is, in a speed leveling sense, I don't think it is... I don't think it holds as much weight to min-max things. I think you just bring whatever you got and you go for it. But no, I'm really interested in how XP gains work in a 3-man group. Like the amount of time that it takes to clear a dungeon in a 3-man group compared to a 5-man group, and the bonus experience you get from it just from being in a 3 to 5-man. The general consensus, we haven't tested it out. I haven't looked at values just because it's not really worth it because we don't have official numbers yet. But the general consensus on it, at least in my opinion, is get through the dungeon as quickly as possible, get the quest experience, and move on. That's I don't know. That's without testing things. That would be my idea whenever you're thinking about putting dungeons into your leveling route. Just get through as quickly as possible. Go ahead and max out the 5-man group. I don't know.
No, that's the way I look at it. Like, I do love the challenge of 3-mans, because I remember in BC, whenever I was, before they changed leveling, I remember at one point I was leveling a rogue, and I was actually tanking the first 2 SMs, Graveyard and Library, as a rogue. And we had a pally healer, and I think it was a Warlock. It was either a Warlock or a Hunter. I can't remember. I remember a pet. But yeah, Dennis, polymorph for the start of fights, of course. I'm just talking about, like, longevity of fights and, like, just my opinion on it. But but yeah, like, that was so much fun when I was doing that 3-man stuff, because it was, like, it was a challenge. Like, it wasn't the same stuff. We got more XP. We got more, like, easier chance to get the gear we wanted.
Right. There's so many benefits to it, and honestly, this group, this 3-man composition, this competition, this play mode, it's really going to be more tailored a month or 2 afterwards and the rest of the game. But dude, I'll say this, Atticus, we tested it 3-man. I don't even really want to throw it out there yet, just because I don't want to spoil the secrets of it. But 3-manning dungeons works. I kid not, like, and it creates a whole new play mode, dude. It felt like the first time I ran through Wailing Caverns again. We did a 3-man group in Wailing Caverns, and you remember the difficulty of it. You were dying. You were just struggling with the game mechanics, dude. In a 3-man group,
if you're not level like 20 when you do Wailing Caverns to start, it's rough. And that place is like saying that you can do it at like 17ish. Like, no.
Right.
That's not fun.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. So this 3-man group, even though our skill cap is much greater nowadays, it brings that newness back, that difficulty of dungeons back, dude. It's gonna be insane. I can't wait for Classic to come out so I can showcase it and show everybody. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be interesting. And I'll say this, guys, this whole idea of 2-manning and 3-manning dungeons, this came from my 2 uncles who played Vanilla WoW back in the day, and they're obviously older. That's how I got introduced to the game, is because my uncles told my older brother. But my 2 uncles, they're more into Elder Scrolls. Like, they're not with the whole for some reason they see classic WoW, World of Warcraft just as a gear grind, and they're total nerds, dude. And for some reason, WoW didn't fulfill their needs, and so they didn't want to do 40-man raiding. They were like, screw that, let's go 2-man Nomergun. And that they 2-man Nomergun with a hunter and a paladin. That's the story. And then of course they did 2-man dungeons with druids. They just mob tagged the bosses back and forth. But that's so this whole idea of 2-manning dungeons, creating this whole play mode, this new play mode, it cracks me up because it totally came from my uncles who, and I'm sure other people did it, but these guys play Elder Scrolls Online nowadays. I don't know if that means anything, but I just feel like the stereotype of players who play Elder Scrolls Online over WoW, it's just different kind of mentality, different
Elder
thinking.
Scrolls Online is so bad.
But like just the need for something harder, I guess. I don't know. That's where it's coming from. So it's gonna be legit, dude. It's uncharted territory. Nobody's ever fleshed this stuff out, and I know other people have done it in the past, just for shits and giggles, whatever you want to call it. I know people have done this, but nobody knows about it. So it's gonna be sick, dude.
Yeah,
it's gonna be sick. But you were talking about leveling. You want to keep going on leveling?
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on dungeons, at least.
Yeah, to round out my ideal five. Oh yeah, and VX Cosmos, yeah, for PvP, yeah. But mages are definitely amazing for PvP. But no, to round out my 5-man dungeon group, so warrior, shaman healer, warlock DPS, hunter DPS, and then I guess for the last slot would probably maybe rogue. Depends on the level bracket, because see, that's where it changes for me. Rogues don't offer very much early on because their stealth is trash. They get pulled out of stealth immediately when they sap.
They're so soft.
Yeah, and I don't see much place for them, but I do love rogues. But I mean, even another shaman would probably not be terrible in my opinion. Another shaman or the mage. I mean, the mage there would be there too, because I'm not saying they're useless. I just prefer warlocks over mages, but.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess.
Well, I mean, and I like the idea of the perfect 5-man group, and this is what's so great about vanilla WoW, dude. The dungeons are so complex. There truly isn't a best 5-man group, even though you always want a mage. You always want that, dude. In Wailing Caverns, my perfect group, just because I made a guide over it and we've been thinking about it. It's a druid tank and a druid healer because they both have the ability to hibernate. At level 18, a shaman for his tremor totem, a mage just because of polymorph, and then one other class. But if you wanted to take it a step further and really theory craft the best 5-man group, depending on the dungeon that you went in, how can you get the most diverse classes in a 5-man group that would share gear? And then you could even take it down to a 3-man group. This dungeon drops this cloth leather male gear. Let's try and 3-man it so we can all get gear appropriately. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about the 3-man thing. Is just having 3 different types of gear. That's huge. What's up, Nigel Black? And thanks for that sub, Brandon. I think that's what it was. Yeah. But Pogren, what's your ideal 5-man comp?
Okay. So I actually had a counter question real quick. I've been waiting patiently for you guys to talk, because I got some people on my side that have been like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's a bunch of people here that are Legendary Bronze brought up a point that he's asking, why do you prefer, he's asking you, Atticus, why do you prefer warlocks over mages?
Okay. So to do it kind of briefly, because I don't want to keep taking up too much here. But anyway, so like I said, I just don't like the fact that a mage's polymorph heals them to full. Because a warlock's fear, I'm not saying it's as good or better. It's just that, in my opinion, and the way I prefer, I like for their health to stay the same. Because one of my best experiences ever was, and I base everything off of PvP. I have a very PvP mindset of thinking. But one of my favorite things ever was, going through playing warrior resto druid in 2s, and you would just constantly alternate cyclones and roots, and they couldn't heal the person back up through the cyclone. And that effectively turns the tide of the fight so much more, because you just constantly are whittling down their health more and more and more and more. So I kind of look at it the same way with CC, even hunter traps and a blind or something, they're not getting healed up. So I just like warlocks because of that, and also they have pets that can off tank. That's why I like hunters too, because they have pets that can off tank. Whereas a mage, it's just kind of I've got a bunch of damage and I can stop melee with my freezes, but they can't really do anything against range with their freezes. Other than counterspell.
That's actually a really good explanation of it. But what I was going to say for my 5-man, because I just realized it, actually, this was helping me gather my thoughts a little bit too, having that go into segue there. I'm going for full maximum utility without a mage either. I'm not planning on using one either for my perfect 5-man, but warrior tank. Then we would have hunter, warlock, ranged DPS, shaman for off DPS and heals, and then a druid or a priest. So you got 2 pet classes in there. You have a whole bunch of extra dots and damages on top of that. You have a solid tank, and then you have the flexibility of having a shaman there for extra backup heals. You have extra off tanking. It allows you to power game through it, but you also don't necessarily have to, because you can have the warlock drop, for instance, Voidwalker, and you can end up clearing out, like, so I'm thinking like BRD, where you get a lot of those tight corridors. It allows you to mass clear like a large room or a hallway, and then gives you a pocket to sit in to relax, because you're going to end up bursting a whole lot of stuff down. It's got a lot of kill potential, I think. Now, I don't know how it hands up on clearing bosses, but I think you can clear out mobs really easily and make your path easier getting up to the boss, and then you get prepped. Now, depending if you go druid or priest, it's the difference of the different buffs you get. So you get your fortitudes, you get your power words, versus you get, like Mark of the Wild Thorns and all that stuff. But go ahead, Grace.
Yeah. No, I mean, you make a great point. The hardest part about dungeons, in my opinion, are mobs. They're not the bosses. The bosses are pretty face
the
roll.
bosses are a joke most of the time.
But yeah, I mean, especially in a 3-man group, dude, we had 4 elites and 2 non-elites in a 3-man group at the appropriate level in Wailing Caverns that we had to figure out how to take down. We had to balance aggro. I mean, someone throws a heal and those 4 other untouched NPCs, dude, all of a sudden go to the healer. You got to balance aggro. You got one person kiting the entire group while, everybody's doing different things. But I kind of lost my train of thought on where I was going. But
utility versus burst, stuff like that. Well, that's what I was thinking. I don't know what I'm saying, but
But also,
no.
to give you a second to think real quick, but with the fact that you have a hunter, one for feigned death, so if everyone does die, you can end up bringing people back if he's engineered. You then have a soul stone on the warlock. You then have a res and an ankh on the shaman, and then on top of that with the priest, and you have another res basically, or battle res if you want to do druid or you do that stuff. But Grays, go ahead before you lose it again.
Yeah. No, and I picked it back up, and this is really heightened in a 3-man group too. I think hunter and warlocks are so underrated in dungeon compositions because of their ability to tank with their pets, dude. And whether it just gives you 5 extra seconds to set up, whenever you're going around a corner and manage all the mobs. Like, how many times do the tank wipes in the first 3 or 4 seconds because everybody's not prepared and he just gets tanked down, because of a wall break or something. But using your hunter pet and your warlock pet as tanks, nobody really does. I mean, I know some people do. Some people that know, they do it in dungeons. But dude, if I was a hunter or a warlock, I don't normally play as him, but I always try to direct people like, dude, use your pet. There's no reason not to use them as the tank, because it's just going to give us a little bit more comfort room, and it's going to increase our time, because the number one thing that just kills you is mobs, and dying in dungeons, it just adds tons of time to your group. So having those pets just be the security tank, I think, is completely underrated.
Yeah.
And like, in my opinion, I would bring a hunter or a warlock in every group because of the extra person. I mean, it's literally an extra player.
Yeah, and see, like, that's one of the reasons why I value hunters very high and warlocks very high in dungeons, is because you can't, like, you have to think of their pet's tanking ability as just another form of CC, because it's going to cost the healer a little bit more mana to try to keep that pet alive, but I mean, obviously the hunter can, or that, just let it die, but no, but like, that like helps though, because like, now if you've got a good hunter or a good warlock, they can have one mob being tanked by their pet, and then they can fear, or they can trap another mob, whereas like a mage can only CC 1 unless it's freezing melee mobs, but that's still specific to melee only. A rogue can only CC 1. Like, druids can root, but that's still ineffective against ranged. Like, so that's just why I like the pet ones too. But yeah. So, but what I was noticed, Pogren, when you were talking about your ideal comp, you were talking about like having soul stones and having what was it, something else that was like later level stuff. So you're thinking
I'm thinking later level. I'm thinking higher end, so like around that 40-60 bracket.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
If I had to go, If I had to go low level, because I know it's what you're probably getting at, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, that's all I'm saying. It's like, yeah, like, so if you're thinking, like, that's your higher end group, you're thinking of more, like, end game kind of stuff. So, like, what would be your lower level? Would you just focus purely on wanting to have something better at higher end, or would you be worried about low level stuff?
I wouldn't be too worried about low level stuff. I mean, hell, I might even cheese it and go, like, dual warrior, dual shaman, and then a druid.
Mm-hmm.
For low level dungeons. That just gives you a lot of coverage there, a
Yeah.
lot of face tank ability. But even without the higher end stuff, even having the pets there as a backup is not too bad. Legendary Bronze, I have not played enough of private servers to get a lot of the data, but I'm not going to trust the private server data that's out there.
Yeah.
I know you've been bringing it up a lot. He actually asked if any of us have played on the private servers. I don't think any of us besides Atticus has played a whole lot of time on the private servers.
I have not ever touched a private server in my
haven't?
life.
Okay.
No,
That's what it was.
I have not.
You really not?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you lying bastard. I'm like, you have.
I'm trying to, like, admit it, but not admit it because, you know,
My bad.
not trying to get, like, banned for some obscure,
Oh, you're not going
stupid
to get
shit.
banned for anything, dude.
Who knows, dude?
Okay,
Dude.
you're too worried. You're too worried about it. We're fine. We're fine.
I have clinical anxiety. I'm sorry.
Okay. You worry word. Don't worry about it. But I also realize I know a lot of the stuff we're saying is against the counter grain, but at the same time, this is kind of how we want to play the game. We just want to play around with it. We don't want to go off of what the best thing is.
Yeah.
That's none of us. That's
Yeah.
none of us. We're not going to min-max any of this.
Yeah, and also, like, the reason why I do want to, like, focus when I'm putting my group together, or if I had my ideal group, is, like, if I want to make the beginning the easiest, because later on when you have more abilities, it doesn't matter what class you have, you still have the same utility you had at the beginning, but you now have more abilities, more gear, more, like, ways to actually do the stuff at later levels, which, like, yeah, there may be better, like, more effective groups at later levels, but I've kind of got the same mentality. Like, you ever see people do, like, Pokemon Red or Blue speed runs? Number one first choice Pokemon, Bulbasaur, because that dude annihilates the first gym leader and is really strong against the second. So, like, if you front load your damage, so to speak, as far as, like, your group composition,
Yeah.
I feel like it can set you up for better stuff later on. But that's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I normally go Bulbasaur, and then what I do is not many people realize that you have like a 5% chance to get a Pikachu in Viridian Forest.
Yep.
And then you get the Pikachu. That takes care of the first two gyms.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
There you go. You're good to go.
Geodude. You get a Geodude somewhere around that line. Then you take that Geodude off to that. I've actually
Pokemon.
thought
Oh,
about this. a
No,
lot,
dude,
man.
me too. Like, I used to, like, Pokemon used to be my jam back in the day. I was 8 years old laying on the couch, like, yeah, this is the coolest thing ever.
And then, like, I lost one of my games once, so I had to start the game over anyway. So I lost my, like, Red cartridge.
Yeah.
And I had to start the game over anyway. So I broke down and was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to min-max the crap out of this so I can rush back to where I was at. It took me 5 hours. And this also proves that Pokemon Red and Blue isn't really that hard, but it took me 5 hours to get back to, like, the Team Rocket Tower I was stuck at.
Yeah.
And I had, like, higher level Pokemon than I did before. I had a bunch of items I had skipped. I had, like... it was awesome.
How's it
and
going?
the legendary bronze, by the way. I wasn't like causing any, like, it wasn't any frustration for me. That was just explaining it.
Yeah. How's it going,
He says,
Sir
yeah, no
Smokes a
worries,
lot?
play the way you want.
Welcome to the Strum Smokes. And yeah, Nigel. I mean, Squirtle's awesome, man, but it's all about that Charmander. That's
Hey,
my
did
jam.
you
Yeah, but
guys ever-
Squirtle's pretty damn powerful. I gotta say that though.
What were you
Did you
saying,
guys
Grace?
ever catch all the Pokemon?
Catch all of them?
Red, blue, yellow. Dude, in the
Once.
system is so intricate.
Yes,
You
I did it in
did?
gold. I did it in gold, and I did it
Oh,
red.
no,
Red,
no,
because
no,
my brother
well,
had blue. My brother had blue, and he had silver. So that way, if there was the Pokemon that you couldn't get on the other side, we'd trade.
Yeah. Yeah, I had both copies, so I was just hardcore nerding it, like, just
Well,
trading
there was
back
only
and forth.
certain Pokemon that you could get. Like, you could only get a
Hold on, I'll
Pikachu
be
in
back.
yellow, right?
Yeah.
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 No,
Well,
you
let's get back to this dungeon shit.
My bad. My bad.
Pretty
No,
important,
you're good,
but
you're
it's
good.
Really, really low.
Thanks, Smokes. Glad to have you, dude. But yeah, so okay, so later dungeon group ideal comp. What would your later dungeon group ideal comp be? Like, if you were, like, pushing, like, we'll say, like, like Scarlet Monastery and onward from that point, like, what would you want as far as, like, yeah, or have you not theorized that far yet?
No, I haven't theorized that far. My experience in it is limited. Again, like I said, in dungeons, I don't think it matters that much unless you're trying to do speed runs. You're trying to do certain achievements in game. I just go with any group that I can throw together.
Yeah.
I don't know what, maybe AOE.
See, and that's the thing. Like, if you
like mages are just this. I don't know.
Yeah, like later on, like, I mean,
That's
me being a warrior, and you know, if we're talking Scarlet Monastery and onward, I want all that Scarlet Monastery gear to myself. So I'm definitely not trying to. I'm definitely not trying to bring a bunch of you know, plate or mail wares along with me.
Dude.
But I'm telling you, like, I would love like 3 mages, and then they just rotate freaking AOE farming, just AOE pull the dungeons over and over and over again. We would just clear the shit so fast, like. So yeah, later on, I value mages over warlocks. But
Dude, nothing feels better than, because I play as a druid, and I did this in the past. I remember putting my dungeon groups together. I'd normally lead, and I'd make sure to slash who all the mages, all the warlocks, all the cloth bearers, just so I could keep all the leather gear myself. And I'd specifically get a warrior at lower levels, just because I wanted all the leather to myself.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, sometimes it'd be like that.
That's all you can do, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I could come up with it, and I could once we play through it. It doesn't interest me to get my best 5-man group in the later dungeons. I don't know.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
I feel like some of those later dungeons, depending on what they are. Sorry, Grace, to interrupt.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
The speedrunning, not speedrunning, but even challenge runnings of like Scarlet Monastery is like my favorite dungeon in the game, outside of like Blackrock Depths. Outside of Blackrock Depths, and Ubers and Lubers, I'm considering that more raid material. I don't know why it just didn't click in my mind the same way. But Scarlet Monastery, oh man, that'd be so cool. Like chain running it, making that a challenge, being like you have to wear minimal gear and you have to go nonstop from dungeon to dungeon to dungeon to dungeon.
That'd be beastie.
That would be beastie. But
Well,
also,
no,
on the topic
that's
that we were talking about, I actually still own this sweet treasure. This
Oh my god.
is up to 4 Game Boys.
Hey, how's it
2
going,
fat
Connor?
ones, 2 skinny ones. So that way you can do all the trading. I did do a lot of
God.
that.
Yes,
Sorry,
bro.
I had to show off my nerddom. This thing, I don't even know if this still works. I've had this since I was, like, I don't know, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I think we had the exact same cord. My brother was a big Pokemon
Oh
player.
my, look what's in my freaking desk. This is my old Game Boy freaking carrying case. Holy crap, I'm not even kidding. Look at
Oh,
this
dude,
right
I had
here.
one of those.
Oh,
I had
Look
one
at
of
this.
those.
we have the same one.
Dude, I got a Game Boy Pocket with the screen popped off.
Oh,
And then you open
mine are
all
sitting
the
over here.
plastic cartridges just fall out.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, I had one of those.
And then
I think
I
I
got
still have my Game Boys.
yellow version here. I think I got another yellow version. There's a blue version. There's a red version around here somewhere.
Oh god, now we gotta show it off. Hold on.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
because I can't tell you how many times, because I had the exact same pouch, dude. We opened up the bag in the
Yeah.
car, all the cartridges would fall out, and then the worst part was playing the Game Boy in the car, bro. Whenever the sun went down, no backlight.
Oh my
So
god.
we got screwed at nighttime, dude. Those were the days. And it's funny, I'm 22 years old, and I talked era. I had a brother that was 6 years older than me, so I got onto World of Warcraft as a 9-year-old. I played Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
I
Just
got
because of my
a
older siblings.
bag of 9-year-old crack right here.
Oh my
like-
god.
Yeah.
So,
So, but yeah, go ahead.
let's talk about max level plans.
Okay, max level plans. Here we go.
So,
Nice.
Grays, you said that you're just going to be focused more on the like fun dungeon aspect of it, creating content and whatnot. So what does that look like for you at max level? Is that anything or?
Let me think, dude, because honestly, in terms of creating content and some of my personal achievements, some of the experience, it doesn't really involve max level content. Raiding, in-game dungeons. Now the attunements, that's gonna be wild, dude. I want to make videos. I want to do like a whole experience doing the Scarab Lord quest chain. That's gonna be insane. Like literally make a documentary over my, you know what I mean, over the whole quest line. It's gonna be dope. So that's what I'm interested in end game. I'm interested in the attunements, getting ready for the raids. Honestly, once the raids happen and I clear it once, that's probably the only amount of time I'm gonna spend in raids. In-game PvP. It interests me. I haven't done too much in-game PvP. I did a little bit of arenas, in Miss, and so I have a little bit of experience in in-game PvP, but again, it just doesn't interest me that much.
Yeah.
But I am interested in like figuring out the most efficient grind spots, or farming spots, farming dungeons with level 60 characters, leveling, the fastest way to level things with a level 60 character, things like that. So that's gonna be kind of my in-game content. It's really weird, but yeah, those are my plans on in-game,
No, I
which
feel
I
you.
think is gonna be against the norm at least.
What about you,
What-
Poser?
So my end game in general. Um,
Speaking of endgame.
So I know I want to do rating. I know I want to do. I'm still trying to debate whether or not I want to go hardcore or not. It depends on what my schedule's looking at. But primarily, what I'm most likely to be doing is casual rating on the side with my shaman. I will probably getting the dungeon sets on all my other characters and probably not taking them much further than that. Okay, Atticus, calm down there. But in general, some rating. But I'm looking forward to doing more world PvP, actually. So there's the Last Dance at Goldshire. I've talked about this a couple times. Absolutely want to recreate those. I want to get people together on like Friday night. I want to get a whole bunch of hordes together. We go sit in Goldshire Inn, and we take over Goldshire, and we don't leave until we are forced to leave. Until we cannot withstand the barrage of random level 60s, or maybe a random level all the way from 30 to 60 Alliance players trying to push us out. We used to do that we did that in Wrath. We did that in Cataclysm. But I want to experience it the way it was meant to be experienced, in my opinion. No PvP gear, just everyone throwing on whatever ugly gear they got, and it's just like total war, total carnage. I want it to be so bad that the GMs have to try to do something. They have to intervene. They have to summon a world boss. They have to do something to stop the constant carnage.
Oh my god, yeah, no, that would be freaking awesome. Like that just sounds like I would want to take it a step further. I wouldn't want to be in Goldshire. I'd be wanting to like just screw over Stormwind or Ironforge. Like I want to occupy Stormwind. That's what I call it. Just freaking sit there and do the same thing. Just be there so long. Like it's just so difficult for them to do anything about it. They just can't.
Atticus,
Exactly.
and before you give your in-game plans, I talked about this with Pogren a little bit. The idea of seriously pushing the faction war to the edge, especially on a fresh launch. Like you could change the whole server dynamic if you have 40, 50 to 100 horde players who get to 60 right away, and you just end up griefing. I mean, I don't want to use the word griefing because it probably would be against
perfectly terms. Nope, it's perfecly within the what you're talking about is perfectly within the realm of the game. Like it's what's allowed.
I would grief Elwyn Forest, Westfall, Duskwood, all these starting zones. And dude, this would be a week-long event, a month-long event. Imagine if you set the Alliance or the Horde, depending on what faction you're on, you set back their entire server just because you got this group of viewers. Like, what are the benefits of that? Like, world PvP is a steamroll for you, like, and then you rank easier because your faction did that to the other faction. Like, that's just an idea that me and my brother had. We were talking about, like, could you actually pull off? It would bring the Horde Alliance war to the next level.
Yeah.
Like, could you actually pull that off? I don't know if it would even. It would take all your time for like a month. It would take like 6 hours out of your day to effectively pull something off like that.
What I would hope for, because I heard about this actually. So I know of two large YouTubers, Stay Safe Tips out. They're going to be on the same server, facing off from one another. I would love for another larger YouTuber who's all about classic Alliance. Which, I mean, like Platinum WoW, if you're out there. If not, Platinum WoW, I could see him throwing a guild together and going against Cargos' guild. I think that would be lit.
I think it would be great. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. My bad.
No, it's good. It would help with that imbalance fear. Because if we have two large people that we know people definitely watch and definitely want to be on the same server as, it would help out with that imbalance. But it'd also create a larger divide because it'd be who's got the bigger... Well, Johnson. Stick. Who's got the bigger stick? Who can outpush who? Because there'd be days where, they might get on a little, like the Alliance would get on maybe like an hour before the Horde does, like the main Horde groups, and then they would run into like Durotar, they'd take over Orgrimmar, and then we'd have to come in, and it might not be raid night, but you might have to be skipping getting consumables, you might be skipping getting your buffs just to push the Alliance out of Orgrimmar. Yeah. Oh my god.
No, I'm completely on board with that as well. But the problem is we don't know how Blizzard is going to react, because they will give you any and every reason they can to ban somebody just because they don't like it. So if we start planning to be on the same server as the other faction, That right there in itself is cross-faction collusion. And, like,
Shut up.
I hate that. But that it is, by definition, cross-faction collusion, because you're gaining by knowing this person outside of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you're going to go fight them. You know you're going to go gain honor from them. It may not be in the sense of, like, someone's feeding you kills, but it is still, in essence, collusion, which I hate. And that's what I don't want to see happen to, like, Tips Out and Stay Safe and all them. I want them to, you know, be able to do all that. I would love to have the opposite with us, because that's one thing I'm terrified about, is I'm terrified about these servers becoming what they are on retail today. Because on retail, if you go transfer to a server, if, like, you want to be on a server that, like, because it doesn't essentially matter, you know, but, like, if you want to be on a server that's dominated by your faction, like, if you're going to do anything out in the world, you need to find out what server is a Horde server, what server is an Alliance server, and I really don't want Classic servers to end up like that. But the reason that occurred in retail is because of streaming. And streaming is going to be alive and well in Classic. It wasn't a thing back in the day. No one knew who the good people were on the servers until it was already too late, and they've invested, you know, months into leveling a 60 on some other server, and they don't care. They're not going to go do it again on another server.
Sure.
But yeah, that's my take on the balancing of servers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen, and then I even talked to Logan about this. If Cargos is still here, I'll even say it, dude. What's gonna happen to this freaking server that we're all planning to play on? Because I know Cargos, Def Camp, and Melderon, really the whole Classic WoW.live crew, they're all gonna roll on the same server. Just and not just. It's weird, dude. It's not because we want to create this mega imbalance. Like, we truly want to play together. We've been talking together for the last couple months. And it comes down to you just want to play with your friends. Dude, the numbers don't add up to me. I don't see how this actually works. I think, and no one's talked about it, I don't know what's going to happen. If it's going to be complete chaos, if our server's just going to be wrecked because of the amount of people that, you know, we all are going to end up having a pretty good following of people that want to play with us between all those people. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. The server issue is going to be a brand new thing, and they talked about how there were different server caps. I've heard that in the recent past. There wasn't a set server cap, like depending on if it was high pop or low pop. You had X amount of people on at a certain time, different from other servers. So yeah, who knows how they're gonna handle it?
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, Atticus, if no one else has anything on this topic, Atticus, what were your in-game plans?
So my goal is always prioritizing PvP. Ever since I started, I try to explain this to people, like, that vanilla WoW is unfinished business for me. I started this game like a little late, and I was 14 years old and didn't know what the frick to do. So I was like, I couldn't get to max level, and I couldn't comprehend everything that I needed to do in a timely fashion to achieve everything I wanted at max level. So I get to max level, I have no gear, I freaking butt roll my way through the battlefield and get to rank 10 painstakingly. But by the time I hit rank 10, that was right when they dropped the when they took out the honor system, and they switched over to, like, the BC stuff that they were putting in or whatever. And I was just like, great, because the thing that got me into World of Warcraft was Maydai. That dude had the best PvP video in the history of World of Warcraft PvP videos. And I've wanted to just capture that essence of what he did for so long. So there's the preface to my end game. But like, what I want to do is I want to just get to max. There's no PvP for phase 1 or phase 2 or whatever. Phase 1. And then I'm going to just do all the dungeons and all the raiding that I can to get the best possible gear that I can. And then once phase 2 drops and you can start ranking, I'm going to do nothing but freaking, you know, world PvP, except for when I do my raids one night a week or whatever. I'm going to have, like, my group of friends, we're all going to set it up. We're going to just do our raiding one night a week. We're going to knock it all out, and then all of my time is going to be spent towards either grinding some gold or killing some alliance. That's it. And then once phase 3 drops and there's battlegrounds, I'm going to be spamming battlegrounds all day. And then once I get to the point, which, because I know I'm not going to be going, like, as hardcore as I want to, because it depends on when they release. Because if they release, like, in the next month, then I know that I won't be able to go hardcore for, you know, like, throughout summer. But no matter which way they do it, I think that by the time I get to the point where I'm ready to make the push from like whatever rank 10, rank 11, 12, or 13 to rank 14, it'll be the slow season around here. And I've already told them, I'm like, I'm taking a month off of work. Don't bother me. I'm getting rank 14. Leave me the fuck alone. And my bosses are already cool with it. It's all good. Like, so I'm gonna like. Actually, no. I've only mentioned. Never mind. I've only mentioned the 2 weeks. I told them I was like, I'm taking the 2 weeks off when it launches. So I still need to talk to them about rank 14, but it's okay. We'll get there when we get there. But it will be the slow season, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. But yeah, I mean that's my main goal. Like once I hit rank 14, I don't even know.
Quit?
I don't know. Like it's like a dog chasing his tail. I don't know what happens when I get it.
So I got a quick question for you then, Atticus. Is this why you're training your body so hard, so that way you're mentally and physically prepared for what you're going to do to yourself?
A little bit. I mean, like, I've always been into, physical stuff, and I've been, like, bodybuilding. I'm not big. I don't care. But I've been doing the bodybuilding style workouts since I was, like, 21. So that's just my life at this point. But, yeah, I mean, like, physically, yes, it's going to take a toll on my body in that time frame. But, I mean, like I said before, I've got a diet put together that's all geared towards brain function and health, so that I can just stream for 24 hours on that first day and then just consistently keep going.
I have a feeling, because I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is a D&D related thing, but it's called The Gamer's Darkness Rises. It's a like a low budget movie that was put together by a bunch of people. That it's really funny. I like D&D comedy, so I like it. But there's a character in it who's all about min-maxing. I know you ain't about min-maxing, but I can visualize this because the dude's also a little shredded and kind of remind me of.
Oh my lord!
But like getting prepped for his D&D game, like he found out what edition they're playing.
Hey.
He found out what they're playing, and he got he was sitting down like in a meditation pose with somebody walking around him with like a taser, and he was reading out stats. He'd be like, okay, what is a +1 mace good against? And like if the guy got something wrong, he'd get tased. I could see you doing that and just being like, oh yeah, let's do this.
That would be me. I like taking things to the extreme. And welcome to the stream, Johnny Bravo. Nice to see
Johnny
you.
Bravo, you know what I'm talking about? I actually got to meet those guys at Gen Con. I got a bunch of photos with them. I didn't get to meet that character, but I got to meet some of the other creators and everything like that, and a couple of the cast, and the real skinny guy, I can't remember his name, from he plays the female character, and he's super seductress, and he keeps forgetting that he's a woman at times. But if you guys have never seen it, it's hilarious. It is pure comedy gold. It's low budget comedy gold, but it's comedy gold.
So let me ask this real quick to people who are watching. I need some feedback on this, because one of the things I want to do, it's definitely like Swifty inspired, but I want to do like my own kind of little thing on it. I want to do like a video just because it's kind of funny, but it would be like very brief, like PvP matchup explanations, like from a warrior point of view. So for example, it'd be like in the gym, and it'd be kind of funny. Like I just like rack some weight, and I'm like, all right, so what's gonna happen when a rogue comes out on you is he's gonna try to stun you. So you're gonna want to have your sword and board already equipped. If that's not the case, be in berserker stance, ready to berserker rage out of his sap.
And you're just sitting
And I'm just like sitting there like just doing some weights or something. So if that seems like it would be entertaining to y'all, let me know, because I can put those together real easy.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
got two spotters with you. They're completely silent. And be like, more weight, guys, real quick. Well, I pumped it. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and dude, we're talking about fitness. I've done fitness in the past, working out. Like I got the whole.
He's done
runner's
fitness.
high. Well,
I've been there. I've done that fitness.
Listen, I have done the fitness.
I took it to the extreme. I got burned out after 3 years, and I was like, I'm never gonna touch weights again. And so, but like the runner's high, the lifting high, dude, and just the adrenaline you get from it.
Oh yeah.
There's something special about physical activity that I kind of want to chase, and it's weird that I've been making content, haven't been able to play WoW recently, and I'm thinking like for personal achievement, I really want to train. I want to be eating healthy. I want to be drinking tons of water, and I want to be able to. I want to be able to stream for 48 hours that first.
You ain't gonna do that right now. I'm telling you. Like, more power to you if you can. But 48 hours is a long damn time, dude.
You gotta show up. You gotta be
that's
careful.
what I'm talking about. I want to get that sense of achievement back.
I don't want you to die.
Don't want you to die, bro.
No, literally. My senior project was on video game addiction, and I covered extensively the guy who, like, in Korea, and that freaking, like, you could rent out a room, and like stay in there for as long as you want playing like on the computer. Dude literally died from freaking playing World of Warcraft.
Yep. Sat there on his computer. People didn't realize he was dead for like 9 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how you don't notice the smell.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, never mind. Sorry,
We're not gonna get into details.
We're not gonna go
Dennis says,
like,
Dennis says
9
72 hours hype.
So Twitch actually, they don't allow you to stream for more than 48 hours at a time. Isn't that correct? 50 hours, something like that.
God, I hope they don't let you.
There's a cap, dude. So technically, I mean, theoretically, you could stream for longer, just end the stream and continue. But seriously, like I'm really interested in getting that first 48-hour stream out of the way. If I could achieve it, I would prepare months in advance. Obviously, like once I'm done with school in a month, I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna start eating right, because dude, I just freaking eat fast food right now. It's horrible. And I sit on my butt all day looking at the computer screen. I'm actually gonna start running, maybe lifting some weights, and getting mentally prepared, hydrated. I drink too much soda nowadays. But seriously, dude, if I could pull off that 48-hour stream, that would be a sense of achievement for me.
One thing that I was considering doing is making little like miniature workout. Maybe like I could probably just post it on the forums or something instead of making a video about it. But like miniature workout videos or whatever, explanations of like this flight path takes X amount of time. In this amount of time, you could do this workout. That way, people are staying active while they're fucking working out.
That's genius.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, you got a 5-minute like flight path. I'm gonna get up and do some squats.
Yeah, do some squats, do some freaking burpees.
Shut up. No, that's legit, dude. That's next level.
Yeah.
I like.
Cause like I can't like I mean I'm going to, but like I really don't want to take 2 weeks or a month off of lifting. Like fuck that.
My fat ass get up. I almost fell on my chair.
Yeah.
No, I feel that, and I will say this though, and I'm not knocking anybody, but like I'm 22 years old. I could pull this off, you know. At least in my eyes, I feel like I could. I know I'm.
Well,
still,
no,
I
you
mean,
probably have a little more steam than us, but
you can most certainly stay up for 48 hours straight, but like this is the problem is like once you get to the 20-hour mark, you really start feeling it, and then it doesn't get better from there. Like
it gets harder.
Like it just keeps getting worse and worse, and it's not even just the simple fact of being awake, but being able to articulate yourself, being able to have your brain function. Your brain will start to eat itself after like 36 hours of being awake or something.
And then you'll start hallucinating. You'll get auditory, then visual, and then you'll just basically be insane until you pass out.
Dude, like 3 days. So you don't think sleeping 3 days beforehand, like really making
it does. That's not how that works. But
Yeah,
you cannot
come out fresh, come out as fresh as possible.
you can't get rested XP in real life, bro.
Sorry, that's not how that works, buddy.
Johnny Bravo said maybe section away half an hour of the 48-hour stream for a GoPro stream for a light jog or something. Just a suggestion for Grays.
Oh, I honestly, like, even doing a 10-hour stream, I'd probably do like a 30-minute jog in there because I wouldn't want to sit down for 10 hours straight. I can't even do it at work for 8 hours. I have to use my stand-up desk.
That's why I bought this freaking chair, dude. Like, I was like, you know what? Classic's coming out, $450 on a comfortable-ass chair. I'm doing it.
Dude, I paid $65 for mine. It's basically the same chair.
You shush your mouth.
Okay, I can even like recline it so I could. And I'm stuck here now.
Dude, yeah, no, this one reclines too. Like, it's like a car chair. This thing is legit. And then, like, it's great. I love it.
I got my chair at a garage sale for $20. I know, I need to upgrade though.
You're still a college student, man. It's all good. Use your refund when you get it, if you get a refund, because I know you're at one of those fancy private colleges.
Dude, I'm totally gonna be shacking up at my parents' house. Come classic, man.
So yeah, let's. I mean, we've been talking about it, but like, let's talk about actual, detailed, solid plans. So maybe other people can kind of build off of what our plans are for that.
So I
2
got one
weeks.
last thing, real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Saying on Twitch is like, okay, folks, I'm gonna go take this flight path from Orgrimmar to Slithis and knock out 2 reps. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I plan on actually having like weights by me. I like having them at work. I have a 35-pound and a 25-pound that I play around with while I'm at work.
Yeah,
That's
I've got
rotating and, like, put it behind my head and stuff like that.
I've got a bench and some dumbbells out in the garage, and I would like by then to actually be moved out into that garage because it's like a separate little like house thing that I would like to make my own little like addition or whatever. But
Gamer cave.
If not, I'll just have like the barbell and some weights in here because you can do almost everything with a barbell. You don't have to go heavy.
Okay, so in-game plans. What type of in-game plans? You want me to reiterate? Because I could go.
Oh no, I was talking about like preparations for launch day and whatnot.
Okay.
Right.
Like,
So I got this. I'm going to start this off real
Go
quick.
for it.
Prep for launch day. Making sure I have my PTO in. Secondly, I wake up that morning. I put on my most comfortable pair of underwear. I put on my most comfortable pair of clothes. I sit my ass down and I prep by cooking some of the shittiest, nerdiest food, and then throwing that shit in the garbage and eating veggies all day. Like I'm talking, like I'm gonna get a full plate of taquitos, hot pockets, pizza rolls, and I'm gonna look at it and go, no, not today, devil. Put that away. Eat nothing but veggies, so I could survive 12 hours of gaming, and not eat like 6 of them and just be like, oh, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, for sure. So my game plan for Classic launch, leading up to it. So I'm gonna do duo leveling. We have a post on ClassicWow.live where Cargos did the whole duo leveling post, and I just had a guy today respond, and he was like, "Dude, I want to go super hardcore with you." And I said the first 24 hours. He actually was like, "Dude, I'm going 48 hours. I run off of green tea and granola bars, or thistle tea and granola bars." It's cracking me up. That's what he said, and he was in the mindset of, he said he was 32 years old. I don't know how he's gonna pull it off, but I'm down, dude. If he wants to go 48 hours with me, I don't know. What else would I do? I'm just gonna drink water. I'm gonna stay away from energy drinks. I'm not gonna eat crappy snacks, like you said. I'm just gonna eat fruits and vegetables. Does working out, like stimulating your body, is that really healthy, or does that not make me?
Well, I mean, working out in general is pretty healthy for you, but
yeah, but like in the sense of trying to go 48 hours, like, is that counterintuitive?
So
I know I probably need to walk around.
I put a good bit into this. I'm also a personal trainer as well, but so I put a good bit of thought into this and like actually mapped out the diet. So some of the things that it includes, and it sounds like it's wrong, but it's actually right, is fats, because your brain actually runs off of fats. Yes, you need carbs as well, but your brain needs more fats than anything, because like if you go low fat on a diet, then you start to get like really hazy and everything. It's like your brain doesn't actually like function right because it needs it to survive. So some of the best things, like the rule of thumb for a lot of, like when you want to target a specific organ, and there's like science behind it too. It's just funny how nature worked out that way. But food items that look like the organ that you want to improve actually help that organ. So for the brain, walnuts are some of the best thing. They look exactly like a brain. But just nuts in general, like almonds, like peanuts, like things like that, just because those are like healthy fats. So like a good supply of healthy fats will help you. But then the next important thing is to have like enough protein, because your body needs protein for all the different organs to function, because they're going to be wear and tear and breaking down. They're made out of proteins. And then after that, you need to stay hydrated. And then as a supplemental thing, this is where you need to like learn how to gauge yourself, because I know exactly how much I can handle, but caffeine helps your brain a lot. So like just having good caffeine in you, but not like overdoing it, because you don't want to get like crazy jittery, and you don't want to like, crash from it too hard, but like a sustained like slow intake of caffeine that like puts you at an optimal level, which takes time building up to like figure it out. But again, like I'm one of those psychopaths who knows exactly how everything affects his body, so I've already got all that figured out for me, but it's different from person to person.
I would be interested, Atticus, seriously, if you made an in-depth video, a guide on how to be healthy. Like, seriously, dude. That would be a hit. It would go viral.
Dude, I would honestly watch it. I probably would subscribe to it, because
especially as a personal trainer, I would love to hear it from you, dude. I would love to hear it. So, real quick, I made a straw poll. How long is everybody going to play on launch day? I know we got 35 people in here total?
Yep.
Like, what is your initial time going to be on launch day? Like, do you want to get ahead of the curve? Are you gonna, and if you are gonna get ahead of the curve, how long do you think you have to play? I know everybody's gonna be taking paid time off. You're planning to play a couple days in a row.
Where'd you put the straw poll?
Oh, my bad. I put it in the YouTube. I'll put it on Twitch too.
I don't see it in the YouTube.
Oh, message deleted by moderator on Twitch.
Oh, shit. Sorry, that's me. That's probably my problem. Just put it real quick in the Discord. I'll go ahead and link it. I forgot I have Nightbot set up to Squatch.
Let me add a moderator. I don't know how to add a moderator.
Well, just, throw it in there. Both of you guys.
I got this.
There's the straw poll, guys. If you want to go ahead and take it real quick, I'm going to take it.
Oh, you got
I'm
it?
interested.
Did you put it in YouTube, or did you put it on?
I put it in the Discord.
Launch day, I'm probably going to do 8 to 16
Here, hold on,
myself,
I
and
can
I'm going
just-
to
I'll
give
put
you
it
more
in
of
YouTube.
a realistic response to what I'm probably going to be doing prepping that day. I'm going to make sure I have a couple of these big. So I love drinking water, green tea. I'm probably going to have a lot of that on the side. I have my coffee. I normally do like a light brew. That way I'm not getting too much caffeine. And then I was thinking about getting jerky, and I was thinking about getting like maybe some Cliff Bars. So that way I just eat that Cliff Bar, and that'll be my meal for like the next 6 hours or so, or 4 hours or so.
Yeah. No, I mean that's another thing. It's like, so it's not that like sugars are bad for you, but you need to watch the kind of sugars you're taking in, or how many you're taking in when you're taking them in, because like if you just load yourself up with sugars, you crash. But if you like if you slowly trickle them in, then you keep that like sustained energy. But like, so that's when you're looking at like healthy snacks, you got to pay attention to the sugars as well, because like a lot of like I would take some like protein bars and like granola bars and stuff like that, but if you don't get the right ones, they're gonna be like 80% freaking sugar.
This is what you need to do in your video. You need to be like, okay, if you guys want to get granola bars, power bars, you want to get jerkies, you want to get powders, this is what you're looking at. This is my recommendations. See if you can't get a sponsorship out of that shit. I mean, I'd pay for it because I don't want to. I thought about it for a while because we did last time when K3 dropped, we got what we called goon food. We became a bunch of basement dwellers at my buddy's place. We went down to his basement. We set up 3 tables. I was up there with like a 42-inch TV, no, 42-inch TV that I was using as my monitor. My brother was next to me with his 232s, and we had a plate of Hot Pockets between us. And then on the other side of him was my buddy with some cola and some, and like, you know, total like, you know, right out of high school, let's get some really shitty food and a lot of soda. Let's just say I didn't last as long as I had hoped I would have. It was like I think we were in the K3 launch for about 8 hours before I was like, I'm tapping, bros. I can't go any longer. It's 2 a.m. And they both look at me like, pussy. I'm like, I'm tired. Let me take a 30-minute break. These Hot Pockets been going right to my belly.
See, man, I had like this. Let's have a little story time session here. Let's have a little story time session. So,
I like the story time.
oh, someone just subscribed. Thank you, Clint. Thank you. So, and don't forget to go subscribe. Plug in real quick. Subscribe on Grays for Days, Pogren, and all of our Twitches as well. Where I'm going to exclusively stream on Twitch once Classic comes out. I'm not going to be doing any more YouTube streaming. I'm just doing it now because this is where the community's at. But I want it to transition over there because Twitch is better in my opinion. But anyway, story time. So, when Burning Crusade came out, I was still on this hype of like, I didn't get to reach rank 14. I'm mad, but I want to go crazy. And I was like, Blood Elves look kind of cool because I was like 16 years old and an idiot. And I was like, I'm going to play a Blood Elf rogue. So when that game launched, I got home and I was just like ready to roll. And I played for, I shit you not, 24 hours straight. And but like I quit eating, which was the problem. I made that mistake. I quit eating and was only drinking Red Bull and Kool-Aid. And I was level 14, okay? And then all of a sudden, I was level 18. And I was like, what just happened? And then I realized that I blacked out. And I was like, I gotta take a break. Because this is bad. And the reason why the leveling was so low wasn't that it took me 24 hours to get there, but I kept like remaking the character and trying out like paladins on Horde and like all this other crap. But yeah.
See, and I'll say this, guys, like, realistically, 24 hours, 3 hours sleep. 24 hours, 3 hours sleep, that's the most efficient way to do things, right? Because whenever you're going to do an extended amount of time, like, it's going to take 16 hours, in my opinion, 16 hours minimum of that initial launch day that you're going to have to play at once at a high level. You're going to have to level up pretty quickly and get ahead of the pack right away, and then sleep for 3-6 hours max, and then get back on the grind to stay ahead of the pack, right? That's in my opinion on every server. I think if you put in 16 hours, you get ahead of the pack initially, and then you go on 6-hour intervals after that. First couple days, I think that is enough. So me doing a 48-hour stream is really just for the gratification of doing a 48-hour stream.
But see, like, the thing is, from 48 hours, man, you are not going to be able to wake up 6 hours later and be ready to roll. Like, you are going to need at least 12. And I feel like it averages out, but at the same time, like, what happens if you oversleep? Like, I'm an oversleeper, dude. I will pass out so quick.
That's like that's literally a nightmare, dude. But here's the thing, Atticus, dude, this has been culminating for me, for many other people, even if you play.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you, man.
This is we're living in a historical time, dude. This is gonna go down in history. You know, like
no, I feel you.
48 hours and then sleep for 6. And
guys,
then
if we can, let's if anyone in here is not subscribed to Pogren, let's get him up to 100 subscribers. He's at 83 right now. All he needs is 17. And let's do what we can because this man deserves it. He puts in the work.
If you go ahead, I just threw a bunch of our links. So I have my Twitch, my YouTube, and then I have Race for Day YouTube.
I'm adding you. I just added you as a moderator, and I'm about to add Grays as a moderator. Give me 1 second. So you should be able to post right now.
Yeah. So
this is Grace
yes,
for Days.
everybody do that. And while we're doing that, we got 11 votes. Whether it was 1 to 8, 16 to 24, 8 to 16, or 24 plus. We got 6 votes on 8 to 16 and 5 votes on 24 plus, which I'm actually surprised, dude. 5 out of the 35 people here, including myself, are thinking about going 24 hours plus on that first.
I only put 24 hours plus because I say I'm gonna go 24 hours, but I know it's gonna carry over a little longer because I know what's gonna happen at the 24 hours. I'm gonna be miserable. I'm gonna hate it, but I'm gonna be like, I'm ahead of the pack right now. If I push for like another couple hours, then that'll save me some time in the morning when I wake up, and I'll be still ahead of people. Like, it'll just be that little extra, I feel. And that's that secret sauce new meta. Can't be telling everybody about that.
Like, does that not get you guys hyped up thinking about...
Yes, it does.
Oh, dude, thinking about launch day, like, you're going to log off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to sleep, even after 48 hours.
No. You're going to see that shit playing on your eyes when you still go, you close your eyes, you'll be hearing the music, you'll wake up and be like, oh, thought it wasn't done Moreau.
I'm just going to hear... like in my sleep.
Not enough rage.
That's
not
enough rage.
I can't do that here.
I turn emote error speech off like immediately when I log in. I cannot stand that, man, because I spam. I am a spammer. I don't sit there and like wait for that button to come up. I'm sitting there like
I used to do that too. My buddy would come over and we'd actually back during Wrath of the Lich King, we both had laptops. So he'd come over to my basement because I was a basement troll in high school and in college. And we'd literally would raid together. It'd be funny. My mom would get a phone call, and we'd both get kicked out of the raid, and the game would crash, and we'd have to run back in real quick because it's the internet back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'd sit there,
dude.
And he'd be angry at me because he'd hear me like, and you'd hear like, not enough rage. He's like, stop hitting the goddamn button, turn that off, or get headphones.
Yeah. As soon as I found out there was a no error emote speech button, I was like, okay, how can I do this? Get me out of here, because I was the most miserable thing. Like, I almost quit the game when it first started because of that.
No way.
I'm at 88 now. Thank you so much.
Nice. Yeah. Go throw him some more subs if y'all haven't done it already.
I played a gnome warrior back in the day. It was my character, and that.
Oh God, a gnome. Oh my God!
Dude,
I'm gonna hang up this call real quick.
We gotta go down to Texas real quick.
Sorry guys, be right back. Flying down to Texas.
But anyways, no, back to my point, guys.
Gonna aim for the fucking head.
Think about the first week of launch, dude. From 1 to 6, if you're gonna be a part of that. Look, I'm very much an advocate for slow down, smell the roses along the leveling route. I mean, I'm a big advocate for that. I think that's how the game should be played. But if you participate in the 1 to 60 grind during the first week, dude, your brain's never really gonna shut off. I mean, you're gonna be living in this fantasy world of, I gotta log off. I can't if you were to oversleep, dude, Atticus, it would be the worst nightmare.
Just follows on Twitch too. Sorry.
I will get out of bed faster than I've ever gotten out of bed. In the history of the world, I've never been so excited about something. I can't imagine what it's gonna feel like waking up and running straight there. I mean, I'm not even gonna pee, dude. I'm gonna start playing. Hopefully, just hit auto run, go pee, and then come back, dude.
Yeah, I
things
mean,
like that.
My ideal way to make things work is to cook my food and go to the bathroom and even shower on flight paths. Like,
no, it's not a bad idea. I totally want to do the same thing.
Yeah, because what are you doing on flight paths otherwise? Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the goal there, and then like I said, have the fitness shit going on in the flight paths too.
Besides also the fitness shit and being able to eat well, when you are trying to keep your mind raring to go, cold showers.
Yeah. I mean that's actually something I've considered as well because Like,
Add that to the
also, if I can find it, I don't have any here with me. Wait, I do have some with me. Yeah, here they are. So, this shit, like, if you are getting tired or whatever, these little, it's ammonia inhalants. Like, you use these for whenever you're about to do some, like, powerlifting, because it literally,
You don't
like...
pass out
It
lifting.
It wakes you up. Like, it just spikes your adrenaline. It hurts like hell. But, like, I've got, like, a bottle of the smelling salts in my gym bag, and that's going to be sitting on my desk whenever I'm about to pass out. I'm just going to...
I was looking at, what's his name? The mountain from Game of Thrones. He was about to lift, like,
Yep.
he would break the lifting thing, and somebody walks up to him and cracks one of those things and puts it in his nose.
Yep.
He's just like,
Dude, I'm telling you, like it's so weird how much it, like, because it just feels like pain, but, like, it's this weird pain. It's like someone punches you in the nose. Like, you get punched in the nose, and it don't feel good, but you're not going to sleep. You're like, I'm ready to kick some ass, damn it!
my first time deadlifting like 360, I had to do one of those.
Yeah.
Like my buddy's like, I can't get it up. I can't get it up. He's like, I got this. He goes over his bag. He's like, I bought this just for this occasion.
Yep.
His name was Zach too. It's just really funny. So he walks over, cracks it in front of me. I'm like, what is that? He's like, just hold still real quick, grabs my face and like puts it in my nose, basically. I'm just like, oh god. He's like, lift.
And you're like, I've got this. It makes you go Super Saiyan, dude.
Oh. Yeah, no, it was so good.
Dude, I mean, if we're telling stories, man, I just got to throw this one in. You know those blue packet of Listerine strips?
Mm-hmm.
Make your breath smell good?
Yep.
So I got a little niece and nephew.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, what'd you troll him with?
Well, they were bugging me, and this happened a couple months ago.
Want some candy?
Exactly, dude. I was like, y'all want some candy? They're like, yeah. Dude, I gave it to them, and I mean, I thought it was going to be a joke, because I was like, dude, Listerine strips, especially if you're expecting candy, like, that's gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they broke out into cold sweats.
Oh,
and
my God.
I felt so bad. They literally had beads of sweat running down their faces.
God, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's abuse.
So, WoW-related stories. I want to tell
Let's get
this
off
one.
of that. Yeah.
I want to tell this one. So, I was, this was actually during BC, but, so, okay, me and my friend, I played Blood Elf Rogue during the time, but I met this dude named Lath. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook still. I hardly ever talk to him anymore, but he's a cool dude. So all we did, he was a Blood Elf Rogue too, and all we did was we would just go around and we would just troll the ever-living shit out of people. And, like, we did nothing but just dual rogue ganking people. So one day, we end up down in Stranglethorn. We're doing the whole Stranglethorn gank fest, because that was still a thing at this point. We ended up at the Gurubashi Arena. We took on, like, I think it was like, we just started with just killing one dude that was 70, and then we kept going. He would come back, we would immediately gank him. We'd be, like, waiting in the bushes, like, in a big perimeter. So, like, I kind of had the, you know, about the size radius figured out for when you could, like, how far away you could respawn. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get on this side. I'll cover this 180 degrees. You get on that side, cover that 180 degrees. And then this guy, we held him there for, like, 45 minutes till eventually he gets someone else to come down. And then it was like, okay, so we're just going to have to use one of our bazillion CCs. So blind him, you know, kill them both. We do that to these two dudes for, like, another 15 minutes. They call 2 more guys, and then now we're fighting 4 people by ourselves. This, eventually, they just were trying to run away. It spilled over into freaking Darkshire, and we were fighting, like, I think it was like 4 level 70s, there was like a level 58, there was a level 46, like a 62, and it got to the point where one of them came over to Horde side and was messaging us saying, why don't you, like, let us get to full health and get buffed up? I was like, probably because there's literally 10 of you and 2 of us. But nonetheless, we trolled them until I think it was about 10 or 11 of them finally were able to kill us. And it was like, it was just one of the most, like, epic like world PvP moments that, like, stuck out in my head. And unfortunately, it wasn't on a warrior, but I want more stuff like that in Classic. Like, I want more times when you, like, just get to the point where you're just doing everything you can and you're just fucking wrecking somebody. And, ugh. That's...
So my stories of,
yeah, go. Tell me.
Okay. Okay. So, I don't like gnomes.
Of course.
It's not unknown. A lot of Horde players don't like gnomes, but I don't like gnomes because I was camped for 24 hours by a gnome rogue. So that 24 hours of, like, logging in, checking to see if I could get some quests done, all of a sudden he was just there again. He found me roaming in the Barrens, wild, just like, oh look, there he is again. I'm just gonna go stick my sack in his face and let him just sit there and roast with it for a bit. I got so angry. that I didn't know what to do anymore. I was like,
BRB.
okay. I messaged my guild members and my buddy who was like playing the game with me and trying to get me up to level 70 at the time, and then level 80 when Wrath dropped. And he was like, okay, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'm like, there's this rogue. He's part of this guild. Dude just will not leave me alone. He's attacked the crossroads like 6 times. He's come at me the entire time. I've had to log in and out, try to find a place, like, you know, take the spirit damage, go and get my gear repaired, go get ready back to go questing again. I'm playing a warrior. It's hard enough as it is. And he's like, okay, I get it. Just what we're going to do is we're going to have you be bait. And I'm like, I don't want to be bait. Can't you guys just like, he's no, go be bait. So him and his buddies roll up. There are 4 level, I think there were 4 level 70s tiered, like they are decked out in like full Sunwell tier gear, and they're just like, when he appears, just let us know. And they had one guy that was full PvP, because it was 2 warlocks, a druid, and a warrior.
Yeah.
And they roll up, and they're just sitting off in the wings. They're like, you can't really see them. Like, some people are like sitting down in bushes and shit like that. Yeah. And I'm out there killing a mob, and the rogue appears. Literally, the moment the rogue appears, gone. Like, nice. Just dead. Flat out dropped. Warrior charges in, Warlock's dot up, Moonfire gets dropped, thing's dead. I'm just like, oh my god, why couldn't you have been here like 24 hours ago? So, like, you never asked for it. I never understand it like fully at that point, even when I was playing, and I was just like, oh my god, this is what a guild is like. This is what it is meant to be a part of a guild.
Yeah. No, that's...
I want that shit so bad.
And I think we're gonna see a lot more of that. And dude, it's funny being in a guild like that. One of my experiences was I had a twink character in the Gurubashi arena, and I was trying to get the arena grandmaster, right? And on my main character, I was in this guild. I don't know what the guild name was. It was on my warrior though, but I was on my twink character, trying to get the trinket and get the treasure chest. And I woke up. It was like 7 a.m. In the server time. It was 6 a.m. And so I went and got the chest. I get ganked by this druid that came out of stealth. He was on the same faction as me, and then while he's looting the treasure, I see his guild name, and it was the same guild that I was in, and I was like, dude, I'm in your guild. My name is Jolly, you know, yada, yada, yada. And he literally stopped. He held the chest down for me. He let me run back and get the trinket for the Arena Grandmaster because we were in the same guild on our main characters, which was just nuts. And the camaraderie of what it means to be in a guild. Yeah, dude, we're going to see a lot more. We're going to see the implications of that again in Classic WoW. And I don't know. I don't know why you don't necessarily see things like this happen in retail. Like, so, and not a knock on it, but you know, is it due to cross realm? Is it due to just speed leveling things? Like the 1 to 60 process isn't as full of content. Is that a reason why as well? I don't know.
So I would say with current day WoW, sorry, because I have an opinion on this, and that's very strong. I feel with current day WoW, a lot of the guilds and players out there only care about raiding. I would say the game right now is catered towards raiders and PvPers. Everyone who's left in the middle who wants to do dungeons, who wants to do level 60 content, let's do level 70, 80 content, questing only. A lot of that content is suffering, and Blizzard knows it right now. Hey, Big Worm, welcome to the stream, buddy.
There's a big worm in here.
Big worm in the house.
Big worm in the house.
But also, you should watch that video that VX Cosmo sent me to send to you. It's hilarious.
Okay.
But no, I think a lot of the guilds nowadays just don't care about doing that stuff. They don't see a point in it. There's sharding, which makes it harder. They're only there to do their raids. They hop on, do their raids, do their quick little quests, world quests. I mean, there's some world PvP and world quests. There's like other things that take you away from the world and put you into scenarios with groups against other people versus the world being the place that all of you exist at the same time. Current WoW is like playing a one-player game that occasionally you get to group up with people, whereas Classic WoW is a true MMORPG. Like, you can't consider current day WoW, I would say a true MMORPG. I would say it's more of just a multiplayer game that has a whole lot of like just solo play elements unless you get into raiding. Or you're doing hardcore PvP. It's all about the cues. It's all about where you're located and like the little thing that you're in versus like the world being the overarching thing that you're in. And world PvP is going to happen here, and guilds are going to interact with one another. At least you don't see it as much because of those reasons, I feel. But also, I wanted to point out something because I thought it was kind of cool. Hey, Horde AU. But I had Sane in here. So Sane's, get this, dudes. He played in the beginning of EQ. He was there launch day for EverQuest and did the exact same thing I was talking about with the Hot Pockets and Mountain Dew. Even back then.
What?
But I wanted to bring that as a funny thing because, Hot Pockets.
Yeah,
Also an automated band.
Yeah. I was gonna say we should talk about some of these like just random shit on Classic WoW forum stuff. But this was just a good topic. This is one I saw that stuck out to me. Like this is talking about implementing right-click reporting and whatnot in Classic WoW. So we can discuss our thoughts and opinions on it if you want. So we can have something to talk about here until the stream closes out. But yeah, let's just read what this dude has to say real quick. It's the primary reason why we can't afford to accept automatic features that ban people in game or in chat. This is a clear-cut case of guilty until proven innocent. Worse, sometimes it will have a zero to do with facts, but instead the most sinister evil is modern society, feelings-based judgment. No good rule, judgment, or regulation has ever been made that's been balanced on the feelings of any parties or party involved. The automatic squelch system has no place in Classic WoW. It is vile and destructive to the community of sharding. I would agree with this guy. So my thoughts on it is, yeah, like anything that is like right-click reporting is trash. Like the simple fact of having to like go through a ticket system and like wait for a response to tell someone what happened, to say like, hey, this guy did this, and then like talk to someone about it. That weeds out the people who don't care enough about a small situation. Because if you have a small situation that occurs and you can just right click and say griefing, and the dude was just camping you, but he camps everyone, and then everyone does that, now he looks like a bad guy. But if you've got someone waiting 2 hours to talk to a GM, they'll quit caring about it because they'll just get tired of seeing that little thing in the upper right hand corner, or a GM will just be like, dude, you were getting camped, like shut up, go play the game.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, but like if you just keep seeing negative like reports on somebody and you're basing a ban completely off of the amount of them, that's terrible. Thoughts and opinions?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't in Vanilla WoW. I don't really see the need for it. I really don't understand the need for it. Like, what problem does it fix? What issues, what circumstances do you really run into where you need to report someone?
I can tell you the thoughts and
I mean, obviously people doing anti-cheat or doing some type of cheating flying thing in Battlegrounds, in the world, or things like that. I guess that's where it would be good, but
I can tell you what it fixes for Blizzard.
Go ahead. Oh yeah,
their wallet.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is, man. It just removes the need for more employees. But I mean, like, that blows my mind. Like, I get that you're a business, and business is about like saving money where you can. But like, when you are a business that makes millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, like, you should have freaking support staff. You don't need enough to where they can freaking like answer every single ticket within an hour. But
again, it doesn't work, dude. I on paper, like I was saying earlier, I don't see how right-click reporting works. I don't. The environment that we live in nowadays with games and everything, it's just gonna be an instant ban, dude. It's
people are gonna complain and just. But this guy said that I was stupid.
I don't know. What do you think, Pogren? Because I really just it doesn't add up. I don't see how it fits in Classic WoW.
So this is a really touchy subject for me because I absolutely hate right-click report. I do get that it can help you with bots. I know it can help you with gold sellers. I know it can help you with spammers. I know it can help you with people who are just generally being horrible. But the Classic WoW community does something I love, and that is self-moderation. If you are a bad person, you will not get your way. If you are a dick, you get blocked.
Unless you're the tank.
Even if you're the tank, if there is a tank who's going to be horrible, I will kick his ass and I will put him on the blacklist, and I'll make sure everyone knows that he is not somebody you should invite because of what kind of person he is. Like, so just to give you guys a little personality check on me real quick, I am somebody who, I view everyone with the same amount of respect right off the bat. If you do anything to lose my respect, it is a goddamn hard thing to get it back. So if you try to do anything undermined it, if you try to because I've dealt with people with WoW that have been, they'll say one thing but mean another. They'll totally backtalk you the moment you're gone, just be like, oh my god, that person's a giant. It's just like, you're not helping. You're not being a good person. You're just literally being a fake person. And as as World of Warcraft has progressed, it's less and less easy to control those people. You give them anonymity, you give them the capability of being able to be in a different shard as you. You don't have to worry about them in PvP because they could just they're not on the same server as you because they just end up leaving anyways. It's annoying. I don't want there to be it because I want the community on the server to take over an ownership of their bad bad players, and just control them yourselves. Like if somebody's being mean to you, guess what? You can get a guild of people to go gank him. If there's an alliance member being horrible to you, go deal with it that way. Right. If somebody's being verbally mean, you can mute them. You don't have to deal with that person ever again because you have the capability of muting them in chat. Like, there are other things around it that instead of having right-click reporting, because the right-click reporting is the instant gratification thing. People will be like, you know what? I'm going to right-click report this. It'll finally be out of my way. And then that person gets permabanned, and they're not trying to be mean in some cases. Or accidentally, the one thing I could see happening is, let's say we have a big streamer out there. He's going whole hog. I tag the ROG mob. He gets super angry because he's been streaming for 24 hours and he's not logical anymore, or she. And they go, right-click report that person. A whole bunch of people surround me. Right-click report me. I'm now banned for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because somebody had a wild hair up their ass to get me, banned. Like, it's not good. It doesn't help anything.
Now, on the flip side, let's say that we try to appeal to both. What are your thoughts on a system like League of Legends had? League of Legends is a terrible game, but
total cancer.
Bear with me.
League of Cancer.
League of Legends had if you had a 3-day ban or something, if you weren't permanently banned, but if you had a 3-day suspension or something, then you could go onto their website and you could review cases and then make decisions on cases, and that would earn you points or something to get your account unbanned for those 3 days. Yeah. So could that be something they could do? I mean, I personally don't like it, but just playing devil's advocate here, I don't like players having the ability to make any decisions.
Right. Well, then it doesn't feel like vanilla, right? It puts a whole nother...
Yeah, true.
And then you're rewarding these people for being able to determine how this person's supposed to be punished. You then put them they're in front of a jury of their peers, but at the same time, I wouldn't do it because you can bring another level of trolling into it. But also, right now, Sane was bringing up the fact that right now in pre-mades, it's really bad. The right-click reporting is used by the enemy team. They'll find out who's the other pre-made and they'll kick them during a BG.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
I can see it absurd.
In the middle of a rank 14 grind.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't like you, Atticus. They hunt you down and they report you because you're in front of them.
It's funny you say hunt you down because that's exactly what I would do to them in real life.
You're licking a knife as you say that too. On my I think it's ridiculous. I don't think right-click reporting. I don't think cross-realm PvP should be in it. Battle.net integration on a PvP server. If there's Battle.net integration, it better only be for one faction.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. It comes back to, oh my gosh, they've come so far. They've come up to the point they're trying to recreate a vanilla WoW experience. And like VX Cosmos pointed out, if a system can be abused, someone will always do it. It's human nature. One reason we did get loot trade changed in 5-mans, which is a huge good change. And that's just following the trend of loot trading. They did put it into rating just to alleviate, an issue with pugs and stuff like that. Yeah. Which, still is kind of, it doesn't feel great, but whatever. That doesn't bug me as much as is this feature. This is a big enough feature, just like 5-man loot trading in dungeons. It was a big enough feature that was so different than the vanilla experience. They have to take it out, right? That's my opinion on it. That's where it falls on the chart for me. It's so foreign to vanilla WoW.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be in there. That's what I think. I don't know.
No, I feel you on that.
I'm waiting for a blue post that just points that out one day.
But also, the way that I'm looking at every single blue post they make, whether I completely agree with it or whether I completely disagree with it or I'm somewhere in between, is that I only see it from and this is why I try to see it from different angles, because I'm a consumer. I'm not a business person. I have no money invested in this company. So
bullcrap, you do. You pay for their game. You're invested.
You know what I'm saying, though. If their game tanks tomorrow, I don't lose anything. No. But they're you have to consider them as a business as well. So when people get upset about the people not telling them exactly what they want to hear, again, that's only because that's your point of view and they can't just appeal to you. And yeah, like, but we've already seen. I think we saw something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I feel like we saw something that they said they were gonna do, but then they changed it because the community like asked for it, and it was like unanimous or something among the community. We were like, no, we need this, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I know they like changed the phases, which is good. I did not want the 4 phases. The 4 phases made no sense to me.
No.
6 phases makes perfect sense to me though, but that's another like thing that the community kind of asked for. Pretty sure we made our opinions loud about that. But yeah, so I guess we're all in agreement that should not be in there.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely
So,
not.
do you have anything else, Pogan, on it?
Well, not on that in general. Just in general, there's a couple things I think we need to have. I wish there was a way in which some of us content creators for, like, I know BlizzCon's going to be kind of a place. I want to see if I can't get up in front and ask a question for the like, you know, they normally do it during the Q&A portion of the BlizzCon for World of Warcraft. I would love to go up there and be like, because at that point I think the game's got to be released, and if there is any sort of like reporting, or I'll just be like, what's the thought process behind this? Why do we still have this in the game? You know, trying to be an advocate for change in that regard. I'd probably get a dumb response. I probably would get a you know, like a but you know.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead, Grace.
Oh no, I mean, I whether Atticus, you want to transition to what you got pulled up, or you want to talk about sharding, either one.
We could do both.
'Cause I got a couple of points on sharding.
Yeah. Let's do this one real quick, because this one I feel like is a pretty short one. But it's Guild Banks. Says, so let's take our minds off subs and shardings and take a nice classic discussion about Guild Banks. Guild Banks are still by far the least impactful on gameplay and the most spirit of vanilla community change one could request. Not only that the log keeps officers and GMs honest, without logs they are free to skim off the top of donations and trivialize their epic mount purchase.
I didn't think they were going to add Guild Banks.
No, that's he's just bringing it out there like food for thought, which immediately my response to it was, no, fuck that, that's stupid. But the more I think about it, I think, would it be terrible? I don't think it would be terrible. I don't think allowing like guild repairs and a bunch of additional features would be good, but like all that putting guild banks in the game would do would eliminate someone from having 100% full access and viewing of that base, or of that bank, because someone's going to create a bank alt. Someone's going to create a level 1 and just keep it sitting somewhere. And I think that a guild bank would probably not be terrible, as long as it was purely just like, these ranks, you can dictate what ranks have access to it, and there is a log, and that is it, and there's nothing more to it.
That's interesting. And while it may be, and dude, this may be a really, is it a big enough change that it's not vanilla? Like it creates a whole new meta of sharing items. I know this is a stretch, but hear me out. Like, it creates a whole new meta of sharing items in a guild composition, in a guild group, that wasn't ever experienced in vanilla WoW. Like, and besides the aesthetics of having guild banks, you know, that's gonna break everybody's minds. They're gonna be like, this wasn't here in vanilla. But like the implications that a guild bank has, like, does it create a different type of game mode? Does it create a different meta? And if it got to that extent, you know, that's kind of where I draw the line on things, whether it's changes or not. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have play off of that.
Maybe, but I was going to kind of go on my rant about having guild banks, but only having them up to a certain level, because I have a person in my chat named Horde AU, but I think I might be pronouncing their name wrong. I think it might just be Horde DU. But how did they say they want TBC guild banks? I'm not sure how the guild banks worked in TBC. I know that's when the first iteration of guild banks, but having like logs and stuff like that would probably be, you know, maybe the best thing if they did implement. Like to have the logs like this person's presenting. I would feel it's close enough. Okay, with just the logs portion.
I think that in BC they didn't have logs. I think that in BC it just had like one tab for a guild bank, and then you could dictate who could access the guild bank as far as ranks were in your guild. But I could be mistaken. But
legendary. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. No, you're good. Good.
Legendary bronze. At this point, we're already getting some changes, but limiting those changes would be good. I would say no guild banks. Actually, even thinking about this, I think the guild bank system, if it wasn't in vanilla, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I can kind of agree with that. See,
Yeah, like,
this
it's
is
not-
why I
it's
wish
not-
we had the beta. I wish we knew what the hell was in it, so we don't have to hear and faff about with this stuff. Because we could sit here and complain about something that's never going to be in it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I'm not saying that I'm advocating for guild banks. I'm just saying that, like, I
Yeah,
see
I mean,
the upside of it. Like,
Sure, absolutely.
yeah, like, I would prefer for... Like, honestly, I would prefer for the game to just be 1.12 exactly as it was, release the content exactly as it was in the timeline, but just keep 1.12 just because it's easier for the stats and everything, but just better graphics. And I like better graphics. I don't care what anyone says. I just want the game to run smooth. I want it to look good. That's it. I don't care.
Sure, I get you on that. That's your preference. Totally
Yeah.
understand that. I'm gonna play with the crappy. Oh, I shouldn't say crappy. I like the graphics. So
Same. I'm gonna be old school. No extra add-ons for the UI. Nothing. Maybe some timers. That just to make me play a little bit better. But I'll be going old school.
I'm going like we can even transition to this and talk about add-ons. I'm going minimal add-ons. Maybe auctioneer. Maybe Bagnon. Maybe.
Right.
My add-ons
That's
always remain the
That's
same.
it.
I run with X-Pearl, I run with Bartender and Bagnon, and then I have like random miscellaneous ones in there. I just like the unit frames from X-Pearl. It just makes me feel like more, like it just feels cleaner to me, and I like being able to see the little animated portraits, because you can kind of, it also, this was actually why I started using X-Pearl to begin with, was because before Transmog, it was important to kind of see what gear people had on. And when you targeted someone and you had X-Pearl, it had animated portraits. And like, you could see a little bit more of their gear. You could tell what shoulders they were wearing better, you could tell their chest, and you could tell their headpiece better. And that dictated a lot of how you would engage a fight. Because you would be like, this guy has better gear, I need to play this as if I'm playing against a really good player. Or if it's like, oh, this guy's got crappy gear, I can just blow all my cooldowns and just have fun with this. It just added another level. Yeah, transmogs are lame. Screw transmogs.
Yeah, no, and I'm really interested. I don't know if I'm ever gonna download Quest Helper, like ever. Even after I've created 10 alts, and I want to just level up a character. Will you guys ever download Quest Helper? Like, will you ever see those dots and images on your map? Will that ever be appealing to you? I mean,
I will
obviously,
never. I've done enough of the questing at this point that Quest Helper. First off, I don't need it from a memory standpoint, but also,
sorry,
I put a straw pull together. Okay, go right ahead. Sorry, I wouldn't want to do it. I think it takes away from the RPG elements that I love about the game. Also, a counterpoint to having guild banks in the game, Legendary Bronze brings up the point that you should trust the person who is running your G bank, your guild. I mean, in general, like I would say I trust the people that I have running our guild, that I'm going to be part of both guilds. And I'm not afraid that my money I'm putting into the guild bank is going to get squandered, or the items I'm giving to get put into the guild bank will be squandered.
In a perfect world, I completely agree with that. It's just that,
also,
like, yeah.
Sorry,
No,
counterpoint here.
Good.
So the other thing about this, it also goes back into the servers themselves controlling what happens. So if you end up finding out, and a couple other people find out the money they're giving are the money you're giving them is being squandered and they're buying random gear with it for other people. They're buying their mounts when they shouldn't be. You could be like, hey, we have proof. There are enough of us together to state that this guild master is horrible and needs to be kicked either from the guild, and there needs to be a new guild master, or you report it, and then that guild master gets blacklisted for his or hers, actions.
Yes.
So in a way, Classic WoW already has that because it scrubs it. It already gets that scrubbing in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I need to get Gray's an admin to my channel. I keep forgetting.
That's all right.
Sorry about the Nightbot, but there's a straw poll.
Crap.
You guys want to take it real quick?
Dude. Yeah, will you ever download Quest Helper in vanilla? Atticus, I think you answered.
80%. There. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have a whole lot of.
Yeah, we got 10
Go ahead.
votes.
Yeah. But I will definitely download Quest Helper. I
Okay.
don't see an issue with it, but at the same time, I'm calling it right now. They're gonna put Quest Helper as a default thing in the game, just like it is in retail.
No,
I do not see them saying no. We should not put Quest Helper in.
It wasn't in the demo.
I know, but that's still just the demo. That's not even a beta. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know if I can do
I
that,
think that they're
kids.
gonna do that. Like, I'm not saying that that they should or they shouldn't. I'm just saying that I think they're going to.
I don't think. Oh shoot!
I think the spirit. I think the spirit of what we've heard from the developers lately, dude. I think they're really on board with what the community wants for vanilla.
I mean, I personally like going to be able to customize my own like add-ons and everything, but yeah, I'll get Quest Helper because, I mean,
yeah,
I know almost every quest, but like
yeah.
sometimes there's that zone where like I'll be like, okay, I've got to grind these, but then I'm like, oh, up in the upper right-hand corner of this zone, I can actually grind these items too. I forgot about that.
Right.
So it helps in certain situations, but for the most part, I don't know, man. Like add-ons are so freaking synonymous with World of Warcraft that I can't actually like think of the game without them. But also, like I said, it's kind of from the PvP point of view in me, where like you have to like min-max almost every little detail of add-ons to make it right, because it's like harder and harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And Stain just brought up a big point here, is the fact that if we don't get an open beta, I would say an open beta in this case, quote unquote, we probably won't have add-ons.
Oh yeah, no. If we don't get an open beta, there will not be add-ons at launch.
That would be lovely.
And then Legendary Bronze brought up another point, a final point to the. We're gonna put this one to bed though. Is the guild bank here? He says the perfect example for the guild bank against guild bank argument and the fact that the servers took care of themselves. There was a GM on Northdale, or Voldemort server, sorry, who looted a T-bus during equipping, basically looted something, equipped it, and then when they would ask people for donations to the G-Bank to fund various things. The entire guild hated this GM and actually shunned him off the server. So the guild itself took care of their problem.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the classic WoW community handling it.
That's just you making. That means the players themselves must hold themselves to a higher standard. There's more honor. There's less ways to get away with stuff. There's less workaround. Like I don't know if they're going to have server transfers. I don't know if they're going to have character changes. I don't know if they're going to have any of that. But basically, if they don't have it, it's even more of a reason not to be a dill hole, because you can't just transfer your level 60 somewhere else. That's not an option.
Yeah, I mean. And good morning, Turbo Onion, by the way. But
Welcome, Turbo.
The thing about transferring and everything, I don't want it there like anytime soon. Like, it comes back to that server balancing issue. Because like, yeah, if it gets to a point where like my server is just too outweighed with one faction, like what's the point of being on there at that point? Like. You either have to merge servers, or you have to give free transfers off of your server to like get servers more balanced, or just allow server transfers in general just to let them balance out, because it's not fun for either side if it's imbalanced. Like you're either dominating or you're getting dominated when it's imbalanced, and neither of those are fun.
Yeah, the Legendary Bronze said vanilla servers are like the stock market. They're both self-regulating. It's a really good analogy. I like that. Yeah.
It's not wrong.
It's very self-sufficient. So on this straw poll, we got 11 votes. Will you ever download Quest Helper in vanilla? 9 people said yes. 2 people said no. I mean, I totally see the benefit of it. And it takes a lot of time, and it's frustrating if you're questing without Quest Helper. You complete 3 out of 4 quests in the one zone that you were at, and you forgot to do one. It's detrimental. I mean, I know people are on tight schedules nowadays. Like, you can't spend forever in the game. So I understand. I don't know. Maybe I just got the rose tinted glasses on. I wasn't expecting, this many people to be down for downloading Quest Helper eventually in vanilla. But maybe that's just my.
Let's go over one last thing before we end this. So sharding, thoughts and opinions.
Can I start off so I can just
go
get all
for
my spit and vinegar out of me?
Yep.
So sharding is a waste of time. It's not going to solve a damn thing, and it doesn't belong in Classic WoW. I'm going to put my opinion out there as strongly as I possibly can. You literally take the bottleneck and you put it in Barrens, you put it in Westfall, you put it in Loch Modan, you put it in Darkshore. It doesn't, Darkshore. It doesn't solve a damn thing. You just caused it somewhere else. Yeah, people are going to be leveling so fast through the zones with sharding that it's not even funny. Unless they make like 4 zones of like 160 people apiece. That's the only thing I can see it not slowing it down. I get that they need to have it for smooth launch. I get they need to have something to make sure that the servers can handle it. But there's better ways, get better servers. At this point, it's 2019. If you don't have a server that can handle a Classic WoW launch, what the crap are we paying you for?
Yeah, another thing though, you gotta even, like, completely separate from sharding, but freaking DDoSers, dude. That was a problem on, I think when Northdale or Elysium launched. they
It's
were
gonna be a
getting
bit different, though,
DDoSed
for
into
Blizzard.
hell. Oh, I know,
It's,
I know.
They have a better security
Yeah,
network
yeah,
than,
yeah.
Sure, than Elysium.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you have a very valid point with DDoSing. I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would suck. My thoughts on sharding, though, like, and again, selfish PvP are here. I don't give a shit who gets through it faster than whoever. Like, if it makes my leveling process faster and I can get myself ahead of the curve in the slightest, that'll just exponentially help me get more and more ahead of the curve. So, like, yes, it will bottleneck people, but at the same time, there won't, like, even if it bottlenecks people at, like, say level 20, there's no way in hell there's going to be as many people bottlenecked at level 20 as people logging in at level 1 when everyone is level 1. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it can definitely minimize the amount of people that get bottlenecked, but yeah, nonetheless, it's still going to have a dumping point where it stops sharding. But nonetheless, sharding only in the beginning, only in those front zones if they put it in at all. Otherwise, no. No sharding. Ruins world PvP.
It does.
So-
It does. Even if it's in the beginning, because I don't want Blizzard to get the wild hair up their ass and be like, well, it was here and people seemed to like it. It seemed like somebody liked it.
Yeah.
So, get it out of the game.
What about you, Grace?
Yeah, so I'll try and flesh out my thoughts as well as I can. Sharding, from my understanding, why they're putting it into the game, one, so they have a smooth launch, so that people aren't just crashing all their servers, right? You don't have 800 people in each starting zone initially. That's the number one reason why they're putting sharding in. And also another reason, I mean, I feel like this is, these are my thoughts from all the things that I've read on sharding and why they're putting it into the game, is so that people who are more casual and who want to experience the game are going to be able to experience leveling through the starting zones, in Classic WoW. They're going and hopefully, from Blizzard's understanding is if we can give them an authentic leveling experience in the 1 to 10 starting zone, because the sharding is going to make the zone, more normal, like it would be a month, 2-3 months after the game. They're going to, we will have achieved our job, which is totally wrong in my opinion. Like, dude, this is the biggest game in history, right? The re-release of the biggest game in history. There's no reason why you should cater to, sharding to make people that want to experience the game have a good experience with the game by being able to complete quests, by being able to tag mobs. My opinion on sharding is you should let people experience the launch, the experience of a brand new launch, and all the old veterans, all the people who've been playing private servers, they want to feel what it feels like to have 500 people centered around them. I say you only put sharding in to the extent that you don't crash the servers. Yeah. That's literally the only reason it's there, right? And like Pogren said, if you thin it out too much, sharding isn't achieving anything. It's not helping anybody. So let's do shards of like 500 people, not 500, like 300 people in a zone, right? Dude, I would love to see. And then maybe you would tweak the numbers a little bit on mobs, on how they spawn, how frequently they respawn. I don't know what the issue needs to be, but I think it needs to be chaotic. Sharding doesn't need to take away the chaos that we should expect.
And that's something to touch on real quick. You brought up 800 people in a zone. Let's think about that, because that's like, let's think about the actual numbers. So we're looking at
6,000.
six starting zones, right?
Yeah.
So if we have 6 starting zones, and let's say in a perfect world, they're all completely balanced with the exact amount of people, which we know that won't be the case.
Right.
But in a perfect world, if we have servers that on the high side are 6,000 cap, that is literally 1,000 people in a starting zone. There are probably 100 mobs in that starting zone.
Barely.
Like, what? That is so bad.
Yeah.
So like, but then even to take it like a step further, like let's think about the zones that share races, or like the ones that are popular, like human. That one would be atrocious. That one would be literally like probably, I'd say at least 40% of the Alliance population.
Right.
That's absurd. That's almost 3,000 people in a starting zone.
Right.
So I mean, it sucks, but like, without sharding, like you're just gonna be sitting there like on top of a mob.
It's No,
Just waiting.
and especially
Camp a
from
spawn point and pray.
Yeah.
Pray to the RNG gods that your Frostbolt or your Shadow Word Pain or your Hunter Arrow meets its mark faster than anybody else. Sorry, Grace.
God.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we could. Oh my God, we could discuss this back and forth all day. This is just one more testament to why we need a beta. And I don't want a full blown out beta. I want a test server. I want them testing numbers. I want them testing the demand, and then testing the amount of people that we can handle in each shard, right? And so if there was like a level cap of 300 people each shard, no matter how many people were in the zone or in the server, it was 300 a shard. That wouldn't be a bad solution, right?
Yeah.
Things like that. So I don't know. It comes down to them just they need to test this. We need some type of beta, whatever you want to call it, or whether it's just
an open beta, but not with us testing it, but having visual testing done. I would like. So let's do this. Let's do a closed beta that can be streamed.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would allow, and it only streamed for like a weekend,
Yeah.
but it would allow for the questions that all of us are eager to know to be aired out. I mean, if they do a closed beta, we'd probably know within the first week, with all the information that gets spread around anyways.
that would be nice.
But just knowing the beta's there, would alleviate a lot of these fears. And I think Blizzard knows this at this point if they don't. Blizzard, if you're listening, which they say they're in every community, but even if ours is really tiny, if you're listening, Blizz.
Please
Blizz,
be listening.
give beta, Blizz.
Get better, please. But another good thing to like just find out little intricate things about like how things are going to function. Like, for example, this right here. This I've literally heard no one mention whatsoever. How do mobs get tagged with dots?
It depends on the dot, because some dots like Moonfire, is it Moonbeam?
It's damage
Moonfire.
based. It's
Yeah,
when it's dealt damage. On retail, it's when it's tagged. The second that the thing hits it, whether it deals damage or not, it becomes tagged to you. So
Yeah, but it's
they have to
also
fix that.
weird.
That's that. Okay, they might
Yeah.
not. Maybe
That's
how
what I'm
it's always
saying.
been.
Like that's
Maybe
why
it's
we need
always been.
that's why we need a beta for stuff like that, because it was, I think, in Warlords. It was either Warlords or Cataclysm, somewhere around in there, where they changed it from like Shadow Word Pain, because Shadow Word Pain doesn't deal damage right away, but if you put Shadow Word Pain on something, it would not tag the mob to you until the Shadow Word Pain dealt damage. But then when they changed it, as soon as you put it on, it was tagged to you.
By the way, real quick, the original launch of Vanilla was very, very, very chaotic from what we're understanding.
Oh, yeah,
VX Cosmo actually played in the beta and launch.
Yeah,
Classic
and
Realm.
apparently they had to like buy new servers in the first week because they didn't
Yeah.
anticipate how big it was going to be.
They burnt them out.
Like, that's
Like,
absurd.
Legit, they burnt the server blades out, and they had to go get brand new ones because they were not prepped. They thought maybe they'd get 1 million players in the 6 months. They had 1 million players. They had, I think it was like 3 million players in the first month.
Yeah.
They tripled their estimate, and it took off like just like a rocket. But this also kind of also leads into why Blizzard kind of started taking the changes they did. They thought players would just go along with it because they loved the game so much even up to that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like I think Pandaria they started realizing that no, that's not really how this works anymore. I guess I don't know. I hope that's what this is, a return to form for Blizzard. I really do.
I mean, I hope this. Let's close it out here with some closing statements. I hope that Vanilla, like, just relaunches Blizzard into the spotlight, and they realize that they need to focus more on their older games and polishing off their older games, and in ways that are productive to the style of the older game. I'm not saying add new content, but just make things better, like make things run smoother. Like, that's the biggest thing that I want out of this, because all private servers are not smooth. They are so clunky, and it has to do with the latency. It has to do with their like software, just because it's not them, like it's not their thing, and they have like crappy servers or whatever. But like, that's the biggest thing I want, is I just want things to just play better. Closing statements from y'all.
Yeah. No, and mine may not be necessarily so much on what I'm expecting out of the game, maybe just the time leading up. And this is something I feel very passionate about, that VX Cosmos pointed out. Beta or stress server, keep it short, keep the hype. I honestly do not want to see any gameplay between now and the launch of Classic. I might practice my leveling, get ahead.
I
but
think
I
our
want to
stream died.
No, our stream didn't die. We're still here. I'm
Oh.
watching it.
Okay, at least
It
on
lagged up for a second. You just had to restart the stream.
I need to.
Oh, not restart. No, not restart the stream. Restart the refresh.
Oh,
the
okay, gotcha.
But people are diving out real quick too, because it's coming up to the end.
Oh yeah, but no. Anyways, I want to keep the hype for the game. Like, this has been 15 years in the making. 10, 12 years in the making. There's no reason for us to see an open stream beta. I don't want to see tons of gameplay. I want the hype to be preserved all the way up until launch day.
Totally
Mm-hmm.
And I want Blizzard. I think Blizzard is. I think they're mindful of that. You know, there's so many implications of allowing this game to be streamed for a month beforehand. Like, why, as Blizzard, why would you want this game to be streamed? Why would you want the open beta to be advertised everywhere whenever, you know, this is the height of the MMO RPG genre in the last 5 years since old school RuneScape, if you want to take it back that far. Why would you do it a month before display your game? So I think Blizzard's mindful of that, but that's just my thoughts between now and Classic coming out. I just want to keep the hype, and I want to log day, tears streaming down my face, overwhelmed. You know that this is actually a dream come true.
I haven't even thought about that. Like, I might actually cry when I first log in.
No, I really think I might do.
I'll be crying like a baby. I'll be sitting here and just be like, it's so beautiful. Finally.
I really think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I do. It means that much.
And closing remarks from you, Pogan?
Absolutely needs to be a closed beta up until about a week before launch. At least a weekend maybe before launch, so people can finally, you know, dip their toes, get the probes they want out for things they couldn't test. But keep the beta closed. Get me sharding. Get the sharding out of here. Set it on fire. Like I want to go. Like if sharding was a physical thing, I would do what they did in Office Space to it. I would play some gangster rap and I would beat the living crap out of the base.
That's a video I need to make. Just have like a big sign that says sharding, and I'm just
and
walking
a really
to
bad Photoshop face.
I'll make a corrupted Ashbringer out of wood, and then just smash the ever living hell out of it.
That would be perfect.
I'm gonna do it. Friggin' mark my words.
I think what Blizzard needs to understand, especially with like right-click reporting and some of the other features, let the servers control themselves. The people will decide.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, thank you everybody for watching the stream. Again, just go give us a follow on Twitch. Give everyone a follow on their YouTube.
Throw the links around.
Everything. They're very simple to find us. We all have our names. You just got to search for them, just like they are. But yeah, let's get that. I like your mic, so you're gonna be doing our sign offs, Poger, and I want that whisper in there.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
Good night, Azeroth.
See you later, everybody.